From McCrary Park in Asheboro, North Carolina, Owls Baseball 2019 coverage continues here on the Forest City Owls Baseball Network. Coming to you live from Asheboro tonight, a big one tonight between the Forest City Owls and the Asheboro Copperheads. Right down to the field level for the National Anthem. We'll bring that to you live right here. We'll turn up our mics so you can hear the National Anthem live from McCrary Park a couple of minutes before the Copperheads and the Owls on the Owls Baseball Network.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets ring clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Owls versus Copperheads is a Owls Baseball Network, and like Home Trust Bank, let's get you ready for what's ahead with tonight's starting lineup. For the visiting Forest City Owls tonight, traveling to Asheboro for the second time this season, Matt Reed sends out this starting lineup to take on Asheboro tonight against Joe Miller, the right-hander for the Copperheads. Todd Elwood leads things off. He's in center field for Forest City here tonight. Jake Lyle, the shortstop, bats second. He's, again, at shortstop. Garrett Blaylock, the third baseman, in the 3 spot tonight for Matt Reed. Matthew Lumsden getting the spot in the cleanup hitter. He's the designated hitter tonight for Matt Reed. Drew Donathan does the catching. He bats 5th. Kirby Lambert, the left fielder for the Owls, taking Kendall McGowan's spot tonight. He is in the 6th spot. Jake Rucker, the second baseman for the Forest City Owls, will bat 7th. Paul Salata at first base, batting 8th, before Justin Guy, the 9-hitter, who rounds out the starting lineup tonight for Forest City, playing right field. Elwood, Lyle, Blaylock, Lumsden, Donathan, Lambert, Rucker, Salata, and Guy against Joe Miller of the Copperheads tonight. Mitch Montani alongside Blake McCandless for game number 18 for the Owls this season. Forest City comes into this matchup 9-8, winners of 8 of their last 12 games. The Copperheads come in with a record of 8-9. The Owls yesterday 10-7 winners at home against these very Copperheads, who dropped yesterday's ball game 10-7 at the hands of the Owls. Playing part 2 tonight of a home-and-home between the Owls and the Copperheads. The Owls come into the ball game 2-1 so far this season against Asheboro, having won the last 2 matchups at home, but the only time the Owls came here so far this season, they lost 6-4 roughly 2 weeks ago. So we'll see what happens tonight. Should be a good one, a Saturday evening tonight from Asheboro, North Carolina. Weren't sure for a while whether or not we'd get this game in tonight, but nonetheless we are going to. It is cleared up. No rain in the forecast for the time being. Might have some showers later tonight, but we'll see. Should have plenty of space on the radar to get this ball game in tonight. The Copperheads and the Owls, with Todd Elwood leading things off in a couple of moments for Forest City. The Owls coming into the ball game 3 games behind the Gastonia Grizzlies for first place in the West. The Owls taking over second place with that win over Asheboro yesterday, with the Copperheads falling into 3rd. High Point Thomasville occupying the 4th and final spot in the West Division with a record of 6-11. Todd Elwood into the lefty batter's box against Joe Miller, the lefty who winds and comes home. And Elwood takes one high and inside for ball 1. First pitch comes at 7:05 here from Asheboro. Game time temperature brought to you by Forest City Family Dentistry, 75 degrees and mostly cloudy skies. On the corner to Todd Elwood here, 1-1. The wind by Miller, the lefty comes home, and Elwood chops one slowly toward the right side. The first baseman Morrison fields it cleanly and walks to first base to retire Todd Elwood. 3 unassisted. It brings up Jake Lyle, the Owls' 2-hitter tonight, batting .267 this season with 2 homers, 8 runs batted in against the lefty Miller. Lyle gets into the batter's box. The righty hitter takes a big swing and a miss for a strike, 0-1. Corey Gerber is the home plate umpire tonight. Justin Duplessis in the field for tonight's ball game. Our 2-man Coastal Plain League umpiring crew. High roller off the mound to his right. The pitcher Miller throws on to first, and the throw cannot be received cleanly by Morrison, the first baseman, who drops it, and in at first safely is Jake Lyle. And they're going to roll this one in error to start this first inning. It'll be rolled in all likelihood an E5 on the play. It allows Lyle to reach here in the first. 1 on, 1 out for the Owls. Top of the first inning. No score early on. Garrett Blaylock into the box. Drops one to the right side. Rolling. Going to be a tough play. Picked up, and a backhand attempt by the pitcher Miller toward Morrison, the first baseman, cannot be converted. It gets away from Morrison and rolls to the right of the first base bag, and around second goes Jake Lyle. He's safe at third on another error by Asheboro. 2 errors and as many at bats, and the Owls have runners at the corners with 1 out in the first. I would imagine that's going to be an E1. And it is. Time called at the plate. So a couple of errors by Asheboro. Runners on first and third for the Owls. 1 man out. Matthew Lumsden, the 4-hitter, to the plate. Lines one foul to the left side. Lumsden batting an even .300 this season with 3 homers and 15 runs batted in. With a somewhat unique outfield alignment tonight for Matt Reed. We'll get to that when the Owls take the field in the bottom half of this inning. Pitches outside, a ball and a strike now on Lumsden. Todd Elwood with a leadoff ground out before Jake Lyle reached on an error. And then Garrett Blaylock reaching on the same thing. Lyle on third, Blaylock on first. 1-1 to Lumsden is hit high in the air towards center field. Cranston going back on it. He makes the catch deep in the right center gap. Tagging from third and coming home is Jake Lyle. He will score. It's 1-0 Forest City on the sacrifice fly from Matthew Lumsden. Give Lumsden his 16th run batted in this season on the fly out to center field. And it gives the Owls a 1-0 advantage here in the first. Drew Donathan now steps to the plate, the Owls catcher. With a runner on first and 2 outs, takes one right down the middle for a strike. Batting .200 this season with 1 run batted in. Miller, the lefty, throws to first, and getting back safely, Garrett Blaylock. We'll get another throw over. Again back, Garrett Blaylock. Takes outside, a ball and a strike. Garrett Blaylock making start number 17 in 18 games for the Owls. The third baseman fouls one back to the netting. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Donathan with Blaylock on first right now. The 5-hitter for the Owls. Swings and out. So that ends the Owls' first inning. A strikeout for Drew Donathan against Joe Miller retires the side. But the Owls pick up a run on 1 hit, 2 errors by the Asheboro defense. They strand a runner on base. Through half an inning here at McCrary Park in Asheboro, the score Owls 1, Copperheads nothing on the Forest City Owls Baseball Network.
Tired of the same old diet? Jumpstart your weight loss with the ketogenic diet.
I lost 6 inches in 4 weeks. I've never felt better.
You want to reduce the amount of available glucose. That's going to help you burn body fat. The Keto 30 Challenge is just 4 easy steps. Start your day with a meal replacement shake. Eat 2 low-carb meals. Drink a refreshing and energizing BHB. Get moving. It's that easy. No weird food, no counting points, no mail-order meals.
This is the first program that's worked for me.
Fuel your best. Take the Keto 30 Challenge today.
Gardner-Webb University is introducing its 10-month MBA program. Fast, affordable, and all online. Competitively priced under $20,000. As a Gardner-Webb MBA graduate myself, it is really important to continue the pursuit of lifelong learning. Mostly from a leader of individuals, but also from leading myself to be the best that I can be. Gardner-Webb University 10-month MBA. Ignite your career at the speed of light.
Heading now to the bottom of inning number 1. Owls up on the Copperheads 1-0. Caleb Pearson out there to work, getting another start for the Forest City Owls here tonight against this lineup brought to you by Home Trust Bank for the Asheboro Copperheads. Miles Nicholson leads things off. He's in left field tonight. Dalton Sinkfeld, the number 2 hitter, plays right field tonight for the Copperheads. Tyler Cranston in center field. He bats third. Josh Hood does the DHing. He will be in the 4 spot. Cam Morrison bats 5th. He's at first base. Dustin Baber, the shortstop, bats 6th. Jack Elliott at third base tonight. He's in the 7 hole. Parker Orr does the catching. He bats 8th in front of Brant Schafitzel, who plays second base tonight and bats 9th. Nicholson, Sinkfeld, Cranston, Hood, Morrison, Baber, Elliott, Orr, Schafitzel for the lineup tonight for the Copperheads against Caleb Pearson. The right-hander from Tennessee winds and comes home. Breaking ball high. Ball 1 on Miles Nicholson, a .250 hit season with 4 homers. 10 runs batted in. Takes another pitch high. 2 balls, no strikes. You don't want to let Nicholson get on base. He is 13 for 13 in stolen bags this year. A massive threat on the base paths. The 2-0. Once again upstairs. 3 balls, no strikes. To the Copperheads left fielder. Pearson started game 1 of that doubleheader at Gastonia exactly 1 week ago. Low ball 4, a leadoff walk issued to Miles Nicholson on 4 pitches to start the Asheboro first. And he's on for Dalton Sinkfeld. Pearson coming off his freshman season at Tennessee. So far this year, 0-2 on 3 appearances for Pearson. Just over 10 innings pitched, an ERA a hair over 6, high and away. 1 ball, no strikes. 12 runs allowed by Pearson, 7 of which have been earned. 12 hits, 8 strikeouts, 8 walks for the Owls right-hander. The pitch. Away, 2-0. 6 pitches from Pearson, 6 balls issued, with Sinkfeld now up 2-0. Pearson checks the runner, Throws over there and sliding back Nicholson. Attends Tennessee, does Pearson. Brentwood, Tennessee native. In that start against Gastonia, got the loss in 4 innings of work. Delivers a strike here. 2-1. And the Asheboro dugout with some applause there. Caleb Pearson chuckling a little bit, getting over his first strike tonight. 2 balls and a strike on Dalton Sinkfeld. Runner takes off. Pitch is called a strike. Throw down to second base is well late. A stolen bag for Miles Nicholson, his 14th of the season. A stolen bag for him. He's on second with a 2-2 count now on Dalton Sinkfeld. How you doing, Blake? You're very quiet.
Doing well, Mitch. Just making sure everything's working on this end. Thank you for joining us on YouTube tonight. We have a pretty good contingent of Owls fans checking in, much more than we had our last game, where it was a kind of last-minute decision to have to stream to YouTube. But despite some of the issues that Mixler is having, we're proud to have you on YouTube tonight.
Pitch misses upstairs. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Sinkfeld. As Blake alluded to, we had to do this a couple of days ago when we were at High Point Thomasville on Thursday evening. 3-2 pitch. Fouled back. Staying alive, Sinkfeld, 3-2. So the Mixler audio app continues to be down until they get everything fixed over there. We're going to continue to bring you Owls baseball on YouTube. So be sure to tune in to our social media outlets for updates day to day. 3-2. Sinkfeld holds off on a pitch low and inside after an appeal down to the field umpire Justin Duplessis. It is confirmed that Sinkfeld held his swing. He walks down to first base. Back-to-back walks issued by Caleb Pearson against this Asheboro lineup in the first inning. 2 on with nobody out for Tyler Cranston. Cranston batting .316 as Donathan, the catcher, goes out and talks with Pearson. .316, 2 homers, 11 runs batted in. That's second on the ball club. A chance for the Copperheads to try to get at least 1 run back with the Owls up 1-0 thanks to the sacrifice fly by Matthew Lumsden in the top half of this inning. First pitch by Pearson is bunted foul to the right side by Tyler Cranston, 0-1. Pearson did not pitch at Tennessee his freshman season. Attended Brentwood High School in Brentwood, Tennessee. 2018 was his senior season. Steps off the mound here and chases Nicholson back to the bag. His senior year at Brentwood, just over 60 innings pitched, a record of 11-0, an ERA of .34, 0-1. Pop up. Out towards short right field. The Owls' right fielder, Guy, comes in to make the catch. The throw comes toward the middle of the infield. Miles Nicholson doesn't think about going up to third base. He stays put at second. Sinkfeld holds at first. A fly out to right for Tyler Cranston, 1 down in the Copperheads first.
I'll tell you what, this Asheboro bunch, a bit feisty down there in the dugout. Definitely trying to, I guess, cause some chaos out there on the mound with Pearson, who gave up 2 leadoff walks. Gets an easy fly ball to get the first out of the inning.
Pitches low and outside, ball 1 to Josh Hood. He is the leading hitter for this Copperheads bunch, a batting average of .429 through 17 games for Asheboro. 1-0, another one, elevated, 2 balls, no strikes. For Hood, 1 home run, 12 runs batted in. Those 12 ribbies lead the ball club. Pearson checks both runners, now stares in toward Hood. The 2-0 with the runner taking off toward third is high. Throw down to third base is into left field. Coming in to score, Nicholson. He ties the game at 1 on what will be ruled a throwing error by the catcher, Drew Donathan, when attempting to throw out Miles Nicholson at third base, and up to second goes Sinkfeld. 1-1 the score here in the first.
Well, it's been an issue that has somewhat plagued the Owls this season, is teams that are able to steal one base. It just seems like they come early and they come often throughout the rest of the ball game. You can see Asheboro, much like a Gastonia Grizzlies team, is proving very early on they're going to use the base paths in this one.
Hood takes outside, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk issued to Josh Hood by Caleb Pearson. First and second once again for the Copperheads with only 1 out. Cam Morrison now to the plate for Asheboro. No hits allowed by Pearson this inning, but he's been plagued by walks. 3 of them so far. The only out he's gotten, a Tyler Cranston fly out a couple of moments ago. Morrison into the box, batting a .148, 3 runs batted in. High, 1 ball, no strikes, as Pearson continues to try to find that strike zone. One 0. A little bit low. 2 balls, no strikes. The 2-0 coming to Cam Morrison. High, 3-0.
And I believe, like much that you would hear at an SEC baseball game, obviously a 4-pitch walk last time, and now the Asheboro dugout cheering for ball 8. It's a common college baseball chant when a pitcher is having a trouble finding his marks out there on the mound.
3-0 from Pearson. Outside, ball 4. Bases loaded with Copperheads. 4 walks this inning from Pearson. And out comes Connor Daly. He goes up to the mounds. He's going to talk with Pearson. Drew Donathan walks up there too. He'll join the fray as Pearson has loaded the bases with Copperheads with 1 out in the first. Morrison draws a base on balls. Up to second base goes Hood. Up to third base, Sinkfeld. And we'll see what the Owls do here. It's only going to take 1 ground ball for Pearson to get out of this inning, but he's been struggling to throw strikes in this one. The meeting comes to an end. Daly heading back to the Owls dugout. And this is going to be a big next batter for Caleb Pearson. Dustin Baber, the shortstop and 6-hitter for the Copperheads. Batting here with the bases loaded, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning. Already a run across on a throwing error by Donathan, the catcher. 1-1 the score between the Copperheads and the Owls from McCrary Park in Asheboro. Baber digs in. Takes a first pitch for a strike.
And those cheers you hear for the grandstands for a Caleb Pearson strike is not meant in a pro-Owls fashion. I guess that's a way to say it.
Pitch skips into Dunn, the catcher. Has to scoop it out of the turf. 1-1 the count now on Baber. A big reason why we are playing baseball tonight, this turf infield here at Asheboro. The only natural surface out here is the outfield. 1-1 is popped up towards short right center. Justin Guy comes in on it. He makes the catch. Tagging from third and coming home is Sinkfeld. The throw to the plate will not be in time. Sinkfeld will come in to score. A sacrifice fly from Dustin Baber makes it 2-1 Copperheads in the first. So Sinkfeld comes in. That's out number 2. And it brings up Jack Elliott with runners on first and second, now 2 outs for Asheboro. We saw a high-scoring game in the early innings last night. Called a strike at the letters on Elliott, who's 2 for 14 this season. The score of last night's game was 2-1 Copperheads through 1, and then 8-4 Owls through 2 innings. Strike called, 0-2 now on Elliott. Final score last night, 10-7 Forest City, thanks to a 7-run second inning off the Asheboro pitching staff. Pearson stares in, up 0-2 against Elliott, the pitch in the turf. 1 ball, 2 strikes as Donathan lost sight of it there for a second. Had to find it between his legs. The Owls have won 3 straight ball games, their longest winning streak of the young season. A win in Game 2 against Martinsville on Wednesday, and wins in the last couple of days over the High Toms and the Copperheads. Fouled back by Elliott, stays 1-2. A 6-1 win over Martinsville in Game 2 of that twin bill. A 13-8 win 2 days ago at the High Toms. 13-8 in 10 innings. Swing and a miss, rather fouled at the plate by Elliott. Just hitting a piece of it there. He stays alive, 1-2. And then yesterday for the Owls, a 10-7 winner over these Copperheads, with Joshua Dotson getting his first Owls win of 2019. Greg Brown of the Copperheads getting the loss. Jacob Bradley getting the first Owls save of 2019 yesterday. Here's a pitch that's wasted off to the left side. It stays a ball and 2 strikes. And Elliott continues to work out there. Pretty decent crowd on hand here at McCrary Park, especially with rain in the forecast for most of the day. A lot of people coming out to watch some baseball tonight. Pearson checks second. Does again, now comes home, gets the swinging strikeout here. Not caught cleanly by Donathan. He has to throw to first, and the throw to first base is high. It pulls Salata off the bag, and the base is now loaded with Copperheads. A strikeout by Jack Elliott, but he finds a way to reach first base on an errant throw by Donathan, the catcher. 2 errors for each of these ball clubs so far in the first inning. And the bases are loaded once again with Asheboro Copperheads for the 8-hitter, Parker Orr.
Just unfortunate there. Going to be the second error, not only just charged to the Owls, but charged to Drew Donathan alone. The throw to third base was high, and you could see him had plenty of time, took his time, stepped into it, and just fired one that Salata had no chance to get.
First pitch is called a strike on the outside edge to Parker Orr. Drew Donathan had to throw down to first base there. Out of the reach of Salata, 0-1. This one's in the turf, blocked by Donathan. Now a ball and a strike. 4 defensive errors by Donathan now this season, if you include these 2 errors in the first inning against Asheboro tonight. 1-1 pitch. Lined out of play off to the right side, a ball and 2 strikes now. That puts Donathan in a second place tie among most defensive errors for the Owls this season. Tied with 4 with Jake Lyle and Paul Salata. Lyle the shortstop, Salata the first baseman. Jake Rucker leads the ball club with 5 E's. All 5 for him coming from the shortstop position. The The 1-2 from Pearson. Ground ball toward third. This one is going to go just foul. Down the line and left on a diving attempt by Blaylock, and right on top of it there, the home plate umpire, Corey Gerber. Very close play down the line there, right near the third base bag. Count stays 1-2 on Orr.
That was very, very close. Both Copperhead base coaches out to make a case for just a moment after that one, and that is a dangerous one that would have at least scored 2, perhaps 3, because of the extension of foul territory and how far that Kirby Lambert would have to run to go get that. So very fortunate break there for Forest City. That could have broken this game wide open in the bottom of the first.
2-1 Asheboro, already 2 runs across. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and the pitch is popped out of play by Orr. Blake, anyway, if you get a split second, can you research how many pitches Pearson has? Thank you. I'd love to know that one. He has been at nonstop work here in the first inning. 1-2. Another pop-up. This one likely will stay in play. It's in foul territory, and Salata over near the Asheboro pen makes the catch. 33 pitches for Caleb Pearson in that first inning. He somehow was able to get out of it as Salata retrieves the pop-up at third base in foul territory to retire the side. 8 men come to the plate. 2 runs come across for Asheboro. No hits, 4 walks against Pearson. 2 Owls errors and 3 left on base. Through 1 full finally from Asheboro. On to the second we go. It's the Copperheads 2, the Owls 1 on the Owls Baseball Network.
Seen by all the Carolinas through winter, spring, summer, and fall. The Carolinas, full of charm and history. The Carolinas, there's no place I'd rather be. The Carolinas, where the good folks move and roam. The Carolinas, this place is our home, sweet home. Yeah.
Back on the Owls Baseball Network, score 2-1 Asheboro as we go to the top of the second inning. Kirby Lambert, Jake Rucker, Paul Salata due up for Forest City here in the second against the lefty Joe Miller. The Owls in the top of the first inning collecting a run on a sacrifice fly by Matthew Lumsden to center field. Scoring Jake Lyle. At the time it was 1-0 Owls, but since then 2 runs have scored for Asheboro. A 2-1 advantage heading into the second. Kirby Lambert leads off the second for Forest City, takes a strike from Miller. Lambert batting .320 so far this season. 2 homers, 2 runs batted in. Takes one just outside here. Lambert's most impressive accolade with the Owls this season, his on-base percentage, which is still over .500. 1-1, breaking ball high, 2-1. Lambert has an excellent eye, a .528 on-base percentage. He has drawn a ton of walks for the Owls this year. 10 base on balls, takes a strike here, 2-2. Lambert didn't like that call from Corey Gerber. Shrugs his shoulders. Now collects himself, gets back into the box. 2-2. Inside it hits Kirby Lambert on the shoulder. And he reaches first base to start the Owls second. The first hit batter of the game for either side. is the responsibility of Joe Miller here in the second inning. He hits Kirby Lambert. Lambert reaches. He's on first. Nobody out for Jake Rucker. Rucker 4 for 19 with the Owls this season. 1 run batted in. We saw a ton of runs score last night in the early innings before the bullpens got a hold of the ball game and shut it down. Swinging a foul tip into the glove of Orr, the catcher, for a strike. Rucker behind 0-1. We've already seen 2 defensive errors for either side tonight. 2 for the Owls, 2 for the Copperheads. Time called at the plate. 3 games with no errors for the Owls. They've played now 15 ball games with at least 1 E. Called a ball, 1-1. It seems like for the most part the errors haven't completely hurt the Owls, although tonight would be an early exception with a couple of runs coming across for the Copperheads without a hit in the first inning. Pitch is inside on the corner, though, on Rucker. A ball and 2 strikes. One, 2. Swing and a miss. Jake Rucker strikes out. 1 down for the Owls in the second now as Lambert stays on first base. It brings up Paul Salata. Salata batting a .190 with no homers and no runs batted in. Takes one outside. Salata tonight starting for the Owls at first base. 1-0 will have to wait. They throw to first, and Lambert gets back. Salata making start number 8 tonight for Matt Reed. The Owls 3-4 this season when Salata is in the starting 9. Pitch misses low. 2-0 on Salata here. Getting the start tonight in the 8th spot of the order. Has gotten time in the 5 spot, 6 spot, 7 spot. But the most starts he's gotten have come in the 8th spot, like tonight. Swinging strike here on Salata, 2-1. Salata making start number 4 in the 8th spot. 1 start in the 5 spot, 1 in the 6, and 2 in the 7. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the Owls' first baseman. Out of Barry University, a Connecticut native, calls time at the plate before a 2-2 pitch. A big frame up there, 6'4", 260 pounds. 2-2 pitch. A curveball on the outside corner called, strike 3. And Salata is retired. Back-to-back punch outs for Joe Miller. 2 down in the Owls half of the second as Justin Guy steps to the plate.
You have to bear with us. It seems like anytime a strike is called, there's about a second delay as a home plate umpire will take a brief moment to contemplate the call.
Pitches low, ball 1 on Justin Guy. You are correct, Blake. There is a brief pause there. It throws everybody off a little bit. 1-0. Low and inside to Guy. 2 balls, no strikes. Guy tonight starting right field for the Owls. We've been used to seeing Justin start in center field for Forest City. Now making his second start tonight in right field for Matt Reed. Pitches low, 3-0 on Guy as he looks to get on here for the Owls with 2 outs. Guy obviously most accustomed to playing center field, but given how well Todd Elwood has been playing in the most recent days, Justin Guy has to squeeze into the lineup by playing right field. He takes inside ball 4 here. Guy draws a 2-out walk. It pushes Lambert up to second base, first and second for Forest City as we go back to the top of the order for arguably the hottest hitter in the Owls lineup, Todd Elwood, who grounded out to first base his first time up. Batting over 300 coming into this ball game, 304. The pitch to Elwood, low and away. Suddenly 5 straight balls issued by Joe Miller, the lefty. Elwood digging in. Miller checks the runner on second, steps off. Pitch called a strike on Elwood. Making the start in his 3rd consecutive ball game, Todd Elwood is. Make that his 4th consecutive ball game. 1-1. Ground ball right side. Diving attempt by the first baseman Morrison. He can't make the play. It rolls into right field. Around third comes Kirby Lambert, and he slides in ahead of the tag from the catcher Orr after the throw came to the plate a little bit late. Lambert scrambles home. The ball game is tied 2-2 here in the second. Give Todd Elwood his 5th run batted in this season, and it makes the ball game knotted up once again. 2-2 here in the second. It brings up Jake Lyle, who reached earlier on an error. Takes one just inside, 1-0. Todd Elwood joins Matthew Lumsden, who has a run batted in tonight as well. Runners still on first and third for the Owls. We're going to get a throw to first now. And getting back safely at first, Todd Elwood. On that play, Justin Guy moved all the way up to third, with Lyle at the plate. Swinging a foul at the plate. 1-1 strike now on the Owls shortstop. Game 4 of the season series between the Copperheads and the Owls. Forest City losing 6-4 in the first matchup, but the Owls winning the last 2. Throw to first, not in time with Elwood sliding back. A 6-4 loss against the Copperheads on the 4th, with Matt Harrison getting the loss in relief for the Owls. This one's outside. 2 balls and a strike on Lyle. Connor Olio getting the win a week before yesterday. A 3-2 winner for the Owls on the 14th. And then yesterday a 10-7 Owls win, with Joshua Dotson picking up his first Owls dub. 2 balls and 1 strike on Lyle. The pitch. Outside, 3-1. Trying to get on base for Garrett Blaylock, who hit an extra innings grand slam 2 nights ago against the High Point Thomasville High Toms in the 10th inning. 3-1. Swing and a miss. 3 balls, 2 strikes now on Lyle.
It's a big at bat right here. Would love to give Garrett Blaylock another chance here with the bases loaded. I know we talked a lot about Allen and what he was able to do for the Owls last week, but this week it's definitely been Garrett Blaylock who's been the best Owls hitter.
Lyle pops one up. Right side of the infield. Shafitzel, the second baseman, calls off the first baseman Morrison and makes the catch. That ends the Owls' second inning threat, but Forest City still able to scratch across a run on an RBI single from Todd Elwood to bring home Kirby Lambert. 2-2 the score. We're through 1.5 here from Asheboro. And again, repeating the score, Forest City 2, Asheboro 2 on the Owls Baseball Network.
Question: how can such a small thing have such bold flavor? How can this little piece of cheddar have such big crunch? How is it possible for this entire bag of cheese crisps to have almost no carbs? F-Bomb Keto Crunch is 100% natural premium artisan cheese, sustainably produced with premium milk from local family farm cows, made from simple ingredients for your snacking pleasure. Ditch the chips and grab the crisps. F-Bomb Keto Crunch.
Good news, Owls fans. Forest City Honda has been voted the best new and used car dealer by residents of Rutherford County for the last 3 years. Our service department was also awarded Honda's highest honor, the 2018 Express Service Elite Award. There's no doubt we will have your Honda in and out fast. We service any make and model and continue to offer the lowest tire prices in town. Forest City Honda, your hometown dealer. Go Owls!
Back on the Owls Baseball Network, Caleb Pearson back out to work for the second inning. Had a tough first inning, did Pearson, but was still able to hold down the fort for the most part. 2-2 the score as we go to the bottom of inning number 2. First pitch from Pearson to the 9-hitter Brant Schafitzel is high for ball 1. Schafitzel, the second baseman for the Copperheads tonight, batting .192 with a couple of runs batted in. Against Pearson, who tosses over a strike, 1-1. The Owls taking a big step yesterday with that win over Asheboro, moving into second place in the West Division. Here's a fly ball down the left field line. Lambert nearing the line in foul territory. He runs near the baseball, but it dropped before he got there. Lambert could not track it down. It's a long strike to Schafitzel, 1-2. Pearson up on the mound against Schafitzel, who lines a ball towards center field and past a sprawling Jake Lyle for a base hit into center field. Elwood gets to the baseball, tosses it back in toward the infield. Brant Schafitzel has a leadoff hit for the Copperheads in the second. It brings up Miles Nicholson, the left fielder for the Copperheads, who walked his first time up. One of 4 guys in that first inning against Pearson that found his way on base with a couple of pitches that missed. Pitches low to Nicholson, 1-0. By the way, that hit for Schafitzel, just the first hit of the game for the Copperheads. Didn't get a hit in that first, but did score 2 runs. 2 Owls errors helped out as well. High, 2-0 on Nicholson as Pearson continues to struggle to find the zone here in this ball game, trying to zero in. Upstairs yet again, 3 balls, no strikes on Nicholson.
All 3 of these pitches, at least the last 2, missing high by quite a bit.
Yeah, a lot of these aren't borderline, and that's not a knock on Pearson at all. He's just got to try to settle down here. 3-0. There's a strike, outside corner, 3 balls and a strike now on Nicholson. The Owls coming into the night 3 games behind Gastonia, but moving into second place last night. The Copperheads come in 4 back. Fouled back by Nicholson. It stays 3 balls and 2 strikes now. The Owls with 9 games remaining in the first half, if you include tonight. The Gastonia Grizzlies only with 7. 3-2 from Pearson. Low and away, ball 4. Back-to-back. Copperheads reach base against Pearson here in the second inning to start it. Up to second goes Schafitzel. Nicholson in at first with his second walk of the night. It brings up Sinkfeld, who walked earlier as well. 5 walks tonight for Pearson. 2 on, no out for the Copperheads in inning number 2.
And for those of you curious about pitch count, 48 pitches for Pearson thus far, 23 are for strikes.
Low and inside. 1-0. Can you repeat that, Blake? What was the number?
Well, now it's 49 pitches for Pearson on the night. 23 have been thrown for strikes.
1-0. Fouled off to the left. 1 ball, 1 strike on Sinkfeld. If the Grizzlies win 5 of their last 7 first half games, they will for sure win the first half West Division title. 1-1. Elevated, 2 balls and a strike. Coming with that would be hosting a first-round CPL Pettit Cup playoff game. The magic number for the Grizzlies coming into tonight, 6 for Gastonia to clinch a first-half West Division title, 2-1. Low and inside, gets away from Donathan and to the backstop. He finally gets to it, but both runners move up. Shafitzel up to third on the wild pitch, and Nicholson up to second on the same thing. Now a 3-1 count on Dalton Sinkfeld. And we'll see if the Owls start to get somebody up in the bullpen here with Pearson still trying to find that strike zone.
Yeah, I was just taking a look over there. Nobody right now, but you have to think nearly 50 pitches in and below 50% are being thrown for strikes. You have to think that it's not going to be too much longer.
Ground ball right side. This will roll foul. The count fills up on Sinkfeld, 3-2.
Which Pearson, he's been throwing in a lot of 3-1, 3-2 counts. Had a couple of at-bats where there's been 2 or 3 foul balls. So even, it's probably the reason that he surrendered 5 walks up to this point. These Copperheads battling in each at-bat.
3-2, ground ball right side, once again foul. This one a lot closer to the line, but it nonetheless goes to the wrong side of the line if you're Dalton Sinkfeld, and it stays 3-2. Not much of a breeze out there tonight here at McCrary Park. The clouds giving way to a little sun here, 3-2. Chopped foul at the plate, and this battle continues between Sinkfeld and Caleb Pearson. .323 down the line and left here. .336 down the line and right. However, the left field wall a little bit taller. Pitch in the dirt, ball 4. Bases loaded now with Copperheads after the 6th walk issued by Caleb Pearson. Still nobody out in the second as Nicholson goes up to second base with Sinkfeld reaching first. He walks for the second time, and Tyler Cranston to the plate.
And have to give credit where credit is due. That pitch was well short of home plate. Took a big bounce off the turf, a little bit of an awkward bounce, probably hit some of the pellets that are free around home plate. That was a stop by Donathan that undoubtedly saved a run.
Pitch to Cranston, low and away, 1-0. And now the Owls bullpen starts to stir with some guys venturing on down the left field line to get there. And now somebody is up and throwing. Swing and a miss. 1-1 now on Cranston. Ball game tied 2-2, but the base is loaded. Nobody out for the Copperheads in the second. 1-1. Ground ball left side. The Owls could turn to the shortstop Lyle to second for 1. Across to first. Not in time. Beating out the throw at first, Tyler Cranston. The Owls cut down Dalton Sinkfeld at second base, 6-4. Crossing home plate, Brant Shafitzel He gives the Copperheads a 3-2 lead. It's a fielder's choice and an RBI for Tyler Cranston here in the second.
That was one that was properly fielded by the Owls, just that ground ball didn't have quite enough power to get to Jake Lyle as quickly as you would have hoped. Salata with a solid scoop at first was just late.
Josh Hood, who walked his first time up, now bats with one out and runners at the corners. A throw to first base on a pickoff attempt by Pearson is late. So Tyler Cranston, a fielder's choice. Plates a run. He takes off towards second, pitches outside. Throw down to second base is not going to be handled by Jake Lyle, who looked to apply the tag there on Cranston. Cranston steals second base to keep the Copperheads out of the ground ball double play, and now it's a 1-0 count on Josh Hood.
Really surprised there they didn't send the runner from third home.
1-0. A strike outside corner on Hood. 1-1. Now a base hit could give the Copperheads a 3-run lead. Cam Morrison on deck. Low and away. 2-1. Two-one pitch. Pop up. Turning into a fly ball toward medium depth to left. Lambert races and he makes the catch. Guides up the throw toward the plate, on the money, and they get it. The out at home.
What a throw by Lambert.
Lambert guns out Miles Nicholson coming toward the plate. The tag applied by Donathan, the catcher, and the Owls able to hold the Copperheads to 1 run in the second on just 1 hit. 3 walks by Pearson, but his ball club keeps him out of the muck. No Owls errors, and 1 left for the Copperheads in the second. On to the third. 3-2 Asheboro on the Owls Baseball Network.
House for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale. Home for sale.
You want a home? We've got a home.
Available now.
Home for sale.
You know what's different about Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City? Well, we have no haggle clear choice pricing, we have the region's only non-commission based sales staff, and we use multiple sources for trade appraisals and give you the highest number. That and a no strings attached lifetime warranty is what makes us different. That's Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. You better believe we're different, and we're located in Forest City.
Back on the Owls Baseball Network, 3-2 Asheboro as we go to the third. Forest City sending up Jake Lyle, Garrett Blaylock, and Matthew Lumsden to the plate here in this third inning. I beg your pardon, Garrett Blaylock, Matthew Lumsden, Drew Donathan to the plate in this third inning. Up against Joe Miller, the lefty, whose ball club has the lead by a score of 3-2 going now to the third. Here from McCrary Park. Do we have a proposal down there on the field, Blake?
And luckily for him, she said yes. So it was a bit of an interesting way they decided to do it, too. It was like some type of game. They blindfolded her, and she was trying to crawl around. And I think they scattered some baseballs on the ground and had her try to find something. And I guess she ended up finding a diamond ring instead. So congratulations to, won't say the newlyweds, but brand new engaged couple.
So
never know what you'll see at the ballpark on a Saturday night.
You don't. You don't. You ever think of the amount of peer pressure that is down there, Blake? How could you say no in front of all these people?
You see, I feel like there are some people that how could you say no? And then there are some women out there that are just like, how could you say yes? You did it at a baseball game?
I guess that's
and everybody's different.
1-0 to Blaylock, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Blaylock, an infield single. Back in the first inning. One. Ground ball toward the middle and a base hit. Shafitzel was playing a little bit too far off to the right of second base to get that ball that was headed toward the second base bag. Garrett Blaylock picks up his second hit of the night. He's 2 for 2, and he leads off the Owls' third with a base hit. It brings up Matthew Lumsden, who drove in one of the Owls' 2 runs back in the first inning with a sacrifice fly. Did so to center field, scoring Jake Lyle. Lumsden at the plate right now, chops one straight back toward the screen at the backstop behind home plate, 0-1. Lumsden batting .300, 3 homers, 15 runs batted in. That coming into the ball game, 16 RBIs if you include that RBI he collected back in the first. 0-1, swing and a miss at a high fastball, 0-2. A couple of teams here tonight that are at different points in the season when it comes to momentum. Pitch inside and it hits Matthew Lumsden. A good job there by Lumsden. Clearly knew that one was going to run up inside on him, and he held his ground in the box, tightened up and prepared to make contact with the ball. Did so on a breaking pitch from Joe Miller that just came out of his hand a little bit. Lumsden reaches on an HBP. Up to second base goes Blaylock. Nobody out in the Owls' third. We'll see if the Owls can build on any of that momentum they may have collected in the bottom of the second inning when they got a double play on a fly out and throw toward the plate. The guy that completed the back end of that double play on the fly out variety at the plate right now.
And just a quick note on, we were saying the hot start or the hot week, you could say, for Garrett Blaylock. Now has a hit in 12 of his last 13 ball games. 6 of those multi-hit games.
1-1 to Drew Donathan now. Blaylock has been one of the most productive Owls hitters, and that most recent base hit moves him atop the ball club in terms of batting average, passing Kendall McGowan. Came into the night batting .344. Low and away to Drew Donathan. 2 balls and a strike. Garrett Blaylock leads the ball club with multi-hit games, 8 of them. And every single one of them, he's had exactly 2 hits. No more than 2 hits in any of those multi-hit games. Pitch on the inside corner to Donathan here. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And not just 12 of his last 13. He's made 17 appearances this year. Has a hit in 15 ball games. Only two he went hitless. Was June 3rd against the Macon Bacon and the first of our doubleheader in Martinsville earlier this week.
Outside, 3-2 on Donathan. So a couple of guys starting to come into their own at the plate for the Owls right now as we head in toward the halfway point of the season. This pitch is outside, ball 4 against Donathan, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. Donathan draws a no-out walk. He's at first base. Up to second goes Matthew Lumsden. Up to third goes Garrett Blaylock. Lambert was hit by a pitch back in the second to lead things off. Later came around to score. He takes a strike here from Miller. We may see a new Owls picture once the top of the third rolls around. With bullpen action stirring up. Called a strike on the low and outside corner on Lambert. He turns around and asks Corey Gerber about that call, but nonetheless he's behind 0-2. Breaking ball just outside. Good eye by Lambert, 1-2. The Owls trying to get their 4th win on the road here tonight. A 3-5 record at opposing ballparks this season in comparison to a 6-3 mark at McNair Field. 1-2, skips in the turf, outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. We'll have updates from around the league when the bottom of the third rolls around. 2-2. Fly ball out toward left center. The center fielder Cranston back toward the gap, makes the catch. The throw comes toward third as an Owl attempts to move up, and he will be safe. Will be Matthew Lumsden sliding headfirst into third base as Kirby Lambert flies out to left center field. It's a sacrifice fly as Garrett Blaylock comes in to score, and the Owls have tied the game at 3 here in the third. So give Kirby Lambert his 3rd RBI this season. It brings home Garrett Blaylock, and still runners at the corners for the Owls with only 1 out. Jake Rucker at the dish, takes a ball outside. Struck out swinging in his first plate appearance. Pitch. Strike. Inside corner, 1-1. Rucker 4 for 20 at the plate this season. Has gotten starts in a couple of places for head coach Matt Reed. A couple at shortstop, a couple at second base. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. And what's interesting about Rucker is he has been squeaky clean in terms of defensive play at second base. However, on the opposite side of second base at the shortstop position, Rucker has committed 5 errors, which leads the ball club. 2-1. High and away, 3-1. Paul Salata on deck for the Owls. With this ball game tied 3-3 in the third. 1 run in the first, a run in the second, and a run in the third for the Owls. 2 runs in the first and a run in the third for Asheboro. 2 runs in the first and a run in the second for Asheboro, I should say. 3-1 is a strike on the outside edge on Jake Rucker here.
And this extended inning has given this Owls bullpen plenty of time. Bullpen now empty. Wouldn't be surprised if we step out for the bottom of the third and new pitchers into the game.
Pitches low, ball 4. 2 walks by Joe Miller here in the third inning now. And the bases once again loaded with Owls with 1 out. Donathan up to second base, and in at first Rucker. Still on third, Matthew Lumsden. Pitch. On the outside edge to Paul Salata. A strikeout looking his first time up against Miller. And now the Copperheads sending a couple of guys down to their bullpen, looking to get somebody up and loosening here in the third inning. A lot of base runners for both sides here so far. Pitches in the turf. Snap throw down to third base is late as Matthew Lumsden has to slide back toward the third base bag safely.
And that one nearly got away from Jack Elliott. Wasn't expecting a throw there, Parker Orr with the throw over there to third. And Elliott able to cover just in time before that would have almost certainly knocked in Garrett Blaylock.
1-1. A strike outside corner. Salata very frustrated with that call. Takes a long strike from the lefty batter's box. Now steps back in.
And I'll correct myself. That's Lumsden on third base. Blaylock already scored.
Lumsden on third. Donathan on second. Lambert on first. Salata swings and strikes out here. His second strikeout of the night. 2 outs now for the Owls in the third as Justin Guy steps to the plate. A big chance for Guy. He has struggled a little bit at the plate this season. A batting average under 100. 1 run batted in. Certainly would be a big time for him to break through. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the Owls' third. The pitch to Guy. Fly ball toward left. This one's actually on the infield. Was a lot shorter than I thought it was off the bat. Elliott, the third baseman, comes in on the infield turf/grass. Artificial grass is what we'll call it. Elliott gets under it and makes the catch. So the pop out to third base is out number 3. The Owls scratch across a run on the sacrifice fly from Kirby Lambert. They get 1 run in the inning on 1 hit, the leadoff single from Garrett Blaylock. No defensive errors by the Asheboro Copperheads. The Owls strand the bases loaded. We're through 2.5 from McCrary Park. The score, Owls 3 and the Copperheads 3 on the Owls Baseball Network.
Did you know Friendship Nissan in Forest City will beat any price on any new Nissan by $500? At Friendship Nissan, we do no haggle, clear choice pricing, have the region's only non-commission based sales staff, and we do 2 appraisals on your trade and give you the highest number. Those 3 things and a no strings attached lifetime warranty make us different. Go online and check out our reviews or go to friendshipnissan.com. That's friendshipnissan.com. We're different and we're located in Forest City.
Tired of the same old diet? Jumpstart your weight loss with the ketogenic diet.
I lost 6 inches in 4 weeks. I've never felt better.
You want to reduce the amount of available glucose. That's going to help you burn body fat. The Keto 30 Challenge is just 4 easy steps. Start your day with a meal replacement shake. Eat 2 low-carb meals. Drink a refreshing and energizing BHB. Get moving. It's that easy. No weird food, no counting points, no mail-order meals.
This is the first program that's worked for me.
Fuel your best. Take the Keto 30 Challenge today.
For the Copperheads in the third, it'll be Cam Morrison, Dustin Baber, and Jack Elliott against Caleb Pearson, who stays in the game for the Owls. Has surrendered 3 runs so far on just 1 hit. However, for Pearson, walks have been the biggest issue. For Pearson, we have seen him issue 6 walks so far. First pitch to Morrison is way upstairs and in, ball 1. Last inning ending for the Copperheads with a double play. Here's a pop-up. Behind home plate, this one will track out of play. 1-1 now on Morrison as the ball clanks off the rooftop here above the grandstand at McCrary Park. A ball and a strike. So that double play off the bat of Josh Hood, a fly out to left field, and then Kirby Lambert gunning the ball into home plate and gunning out Miles Nicholson, who attempted to score on a possible sac fly. Ended up being out at home, getting the Owls out of the second inning. 2-1 now after a ball issued in the turf by Pearson against Morrison. 2-1 pitch.
Ooh.
Maybe just outside, 3-1.
Outside.
Maybe upstairs. I have no idea, Blake.
Yeah.
It's been a squeezed zone. It has been consistent, though. 3-1. Low, ball 4. Walk number 7 for Caleb Pearson starts the third inning. And we'll see if the Owls' bullpen action starts to kick up again. Morrison reaches on the 7th base on balls issued by Pearson. 2 walks tonight for Morrison. Dustin Baber, who hit a sacrifice fly in the first, steps to the dish. Pearson comes home. Fly ball towards center. Todd Elwood back a step or two, now readjusts himself and comes back in, maybe a step to make the catch. Dustin Baber retired. 1 down for the Copperheads in the 3rd as Jack Elliott steps to the plate.
Indeed, the bullpen action has warmed up a bit as a righty getting loose over there.
High ball 1 on Jack Elliott. And if you're the Owls, the idea now becomes you got to try to get Pearson as long as you possibly can stretch him in this game due to so many baseball games to be played in the next week or so. You don't want to exhaust that bullpen. Strike called here, 1-1 on Elliott. With the runner on first, 1 out, 1-1. On the outside edge, 1 ball, 2 strikes. You have an off day tomorrow if you're the Owls. That's the last scheduled off day of the first half. 1-2. Upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Forest City has a home ball game on Monday night, the only meeting in 2019 against the Savannah Bananas, who come into town. Then a doubleheader at High Point Thomasville on Tuesday. Then a doubleheader at home on Wednesday against the Lexington County Blowfish. Fly ball once again towards center. Elwood nearing the deepest part of the ballpark toward dead central. He makes the catch. Out number 2 for Pearson here in the 3rd as he looks to settle down against the Copperheads. It brings up the 8-hitter and catcher Parker Orr, who popped out to first base his first time up. .400 feet to dead center field here at McCrary Park. 1 ball, no strikes now on Orr upstairs on a pitch. Checks the runner at first, does Pearson. He comes home, and a swing and a foul straight back. The Owls trying to extend this winning streak. Currently sits at 3, the season high. Prior to that, the longest streak for the Owls was 2. Had back-to-back wins a pair of times. 1-1, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Orr now as Pearson looks to get out of the 3rd. Get the Owls to the 4th with this ball game all knotted up. Pearson stares in, now checks the runner. Now comes home. 1-2, swinging, just getting a piece of it, Parker Orr. As the ball ends up back toward the fencing behind home plates near the backstop area. Stays a ball and 2 strikes on the .259 hitter and catcher for the Asheboro Copperheads. We'll do it again, 1-2, up and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Owls 4-1 in their last 5 games against a Copperheads team that has struggled as of late. 2-2. On the inside corner, a called 3rd strike. Caleb Pearson gets a trio of consecutive outs against the Copperheads here in the 3rd. Pearson's 3rd inning, a lot better than the first 2. Gets the job done through 3. And Pearson allows no runs, no hits, no errors, and a walk. The only runner left on base for the Copperheads in the 3rd inning. On to the 4th we go. The score, the Owls 3, the Copperheads 3 on the Owls Baseball Network. Rutherford Regional Health System's mission is making communities healthier. By creating places where people choose to come for health care, physicians want to practice, and employees want to work, they are creating a legacy of care for our neighbors today and for generations to come. Whether it be a team like the Forest City Owls or your team at home, they are passionate about caring for you. At Rutherford Regional Health System, they believe each healthcare journey is unique, and that's why they are so dedicated to being experts in you. From personalized orthopedic solutions to patient-centered surgical care, they are there for you every step of the way. As part of Duke LifePoint Healthcare, they offer a team of renowned expertise to be on your side. They can help lead you to even better health with primary care practices, walk-in clinic, children's services, emergency department, urology, radiology, orthopedic care, surgeries, and more. At Rutherford Regional, they're not just experts in health, they are experts in your health care. Back on the Owls Baseball Network, Joe Miller back out to work for the Copperheads in the fourth. The Owls will send the top of their order to the plate against the Asheboro lefty. Todd Elwood, Jake Lyle, and Garrett Blaylock all due up for the Owls in the fourth. 3-3 the score, with the Owls getting a run in each of the first 3 innings. The Copperheads getting 2 runs in the first and a run in the second. All knotted up as we go to the third, rather the fourth inning of this one. First pitch to the Owls' leadoff hitter Todd Elwood is upstairs for a ball, 1-0. A strike at the knees on Elwood, 1-1. And it looks, if you look down there at the Owls' pen, it looks like Caleb Pearson will still hang in there in this game. 1-2 now after Elwood swings and misses. Nobody up in that Owls bullpen once again, so that means that Pearson may very well come out for the fourth against the Copperheads. Elwood slaps one down the third baseline over near that Owls pen. This one gets out of play.
And I'll tell you what, I know it can be difficult to look down into the bullpen and know who's throwing, but if my eyes don't deceive me, I think it's pretty easy to pick out Caleb Murphy even from this distance. I think he may be the reliever that's coming in for Forest City.
1-2, outside 2-2. Are you talking about now? Warming up?
Eventually. Or this past half inning he was out there.
Okay.
At least I think it was him. I could be wrong, but
2-2. Ground ball towards short. Rushing in the shortstop Baber, gloves the baseball, throws to first, and just gets Todd Elwood by a step. A good throw there by Baber after having to rush in on the turf to make the play. A slow roller toward the left side by Elwood. Nonetheless, he's gunned down 6-3, 1 down for the Owls in the fourth. Brings up the 2-hitter, Jake Lyle. Has been on base once tonight with an error charged to the pitcher, Joe Miller, who has been tagged with an E twice tonight. Line drive out toward left, but not moving at all. Nicholson, the left fielder, eyeing it up and making the catch to retire Jake Lyle for the second out of the fourth. 2 up and 2 down quickly for Forest City in the fourth as Garrett Blaylock steps to the plate. Blaylock of the Owls trying to collect his first 3-hit game this season. Getting his 9th multi-hit game tonight, but all of them have been 2-hit affairs. Outside ball 1 on Blaylock. Leads the Owls in a bunch of statistical categories, does the third baseman. Called a strike on the outside edge, 1-1. One of those statistical categories is at-bats. Blaylock now well over 60 ABs this season for the Owls. Takes one upstairs, 2-1. 2-1 pitch to Blaylock. Low and inside, 3-1. We saw Blaylock with 2 outs a couple of days ago walk before a Matthew Lumsden home run. Fouled away by Blaylock. 3 balls, 2 strikes now. Lumsden stands on deck, but he only will have a chance if Blaylock can reach. With the ball game tied up 3-3, top of the 4th, bases empty, 2 outs for Forest City. The wind by Miller, the pitch. Check swing, but the home plate umpire Corey Gerber says that Blaylock offered at a high fastball from Joe Miller. Blaylock is sat down to end the Owls' 4th. So for the first time in this game, one of the 2 ball clubs goes down 1-2-3. A 1-2-3 inning brought to you by Copper Penny Grill, located in downtown Forest City. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base for the Owls in the 4th. To the bottom of the 4th we go with the score Owls 3 and Copperheads 3 on the Owls Baseball Network.
With the Carolinas, mountains high and valleys wide. The Carolinas, beauty from ground to the sky. The Carolinas, golden sunset seen by all. The Carolinas, through winter, spring, summer, and fall. The Carolinas, full of charm and history. The Carolinas, there's no place I'd rather be. The Carolinas, where the good folks move and roam. The Carolinas, this place is our home sweet home. Yeah.
Caleb Pearson back out for the Owls to work as we go to the 4th inning, bottom of the 4th inning, with the Copperheads due up to bat. Ball game tied 3-3. Pearson will go up against the 9-1-2 hitters for the Snakes here in the 4th. Pearson 80 pitches in total coming into this ball game. Delivers a pitch on the outside edge to Brant Schafitzel, the leadoff man in the 4th inning for the Copperheads. Now 41 strikes issued by Pearson, 40 balls. Fouled back, 0-2 on Schafitzel as Pearson starts to pound the zone. We'll keep track of how many pitches Pearson has. We'll see how long Matt Reed can extend them here tonight. Pearson, a ton of walks in the early innings, but he's since settled down a little bit. And a weak ground ball towards short. Lyle, the shortstop, fields it cleanly, throws to first and gets Brant Schafitzel. 6-3. 1 up, 1 down for Pearson. It brings up Miles Nicholson, the leadoff man tonight and left fielder for the Asheboro Copperheads. Score update from High Point Thomasville. The High Toms trailing the visiting Gastonia Grizzlies 10-7. Breaking pitch high to Miles Nicholson. The Owls, enormous fans of whoever's playing the Grizzlies, especially in the next week, due to Gastonia holding that 3-game lead in the West. The Owls will need them to drop a good bit of those games in order to catch Gastonia. 2 balls, no strikes after another ball from Pearson on Nicholson, who's been on base twice tonight with walks. And he hits a high fly ball toward left. Lambert nearing the wall, and the track makes the catch. Two down for the Copperheads in the 4th, and 5 straight have been sat down by Caleb Pearson, with the 2-hitter Dalton Sinkfeld coming up. 2-1 the score in Savannah right now, the Macon Bacon up 2-1 on the Savannah Bananas. Pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes on Dalton Sinkfeld. The Bacon looking to create a 2-game lead in the South. Strike called. 1-1. The Owls will take on a team from the South on Monday night. Savannah coming into town for the only meeting of 2019 between the clubs. Strike called. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Sinkfeld. Morehead City leads Wilmington right now. Check that. That's not a lead. That's a final score. Game 1 of a doubleheader tonight from Wilmington. The Morehead City Marlins win it 3-1 over the Wilmington Sharks. High chopper over top of the mound. The second baseman moving to his left. Jake Rucker makes the play near the second base bag, throws across his body to first and guns out Dalton Sinkfeld. Heck of a play there by Rucker, the second baseman, to get that ball across to Salata at first base to retire the side. A 1-2-3 inning for Caleb Pearson in the fourth. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. A 10-pitch inning for the Owls right-hander. Through 4 full here at McCrary Park. The score still Owls 3 and Copperheads 3 on the Owls Baseball Network.
Gardner-Webb University is introducing its 10-month MBA program. Fast, affordable, and all online. Competitively priced under $20,000. As a Gardner-Webb MBA graduate myself, it is really important to continue the pursuit of lifelong learning, mostly from a leader of individuals, but also from leading myself to be the best I can be. Gardner-Webb University 10-month MBA. Ignite your career at the speed of light.
Question: how can such a small thing have such bold flavor? How can this little piece of cheddar have such big crunch? How is it possible for this entire bag of cheese crisps to have almost no carbs? F-Bomb Keto Crunch is 100% natural premium artisan cheese, sustainably produced with premium milk from local family farm cows, made from simple ingredients for your snacking pleasure. Ditch the chips and grab the crisps. F-Bomb Keto Crunch.
Back on the Owls Baseball Network, 3-3 tie between the Owls and the Asheboro Copperheads.
Leading up for the Owls, the designated hitter, number 33,
Matthew Lumsden leads things off for Forest City. He, Drew Donathan, and Kirby Lambert all due up in this frame. Being led off by Matthew Lumsden right now. The Owls DH into the lefty batter's box, swings and misses here on the first pitch he sees, 0-1. A fly out for Lumsden, which resulted in a sac fly back in the first. 0 for 2 tonight. Takes another pitch for a strike. That's strike 2, 0-2 now on the Owls DH. Takes one well outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And Mitch, it's hard to believe that this is only the 4th matchup these two teams will play. It will conclude their matchups in the first half of the season.
Swing and a miss by Lumsden. He strikes out. And that is out number 1 for the Owls in the 5th. I don't mean to correct you, Blake, but I think the Owls play the Copperheads next Saturday night. Check that. I actually think it's next Friday night. But I think we come here one more time before
June 28th, yes.
The first half ends. Breaking ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes on Drew Donathan, who's 0 for 1 tonight with a walk.
So 1 game away from, I guess you'll play each other one more time, but you have to think with the play of the High Toms recently, it looks like regardless, you have Gastonia that has a huge lead in the division right now, and they're almost, if they just take care of business, they'll be winning the first half.
And this game's huge tonight because if the Owls win it, It puts them 2 up on the Copperheads. Donathan takes a big swing and a miss here, 2-1.
No doubt. Well, each game is going to be so important between these two teams because if you just look at the play of the High Toms this season, it's somewhat apparent that this is going to, if there is a second-place battle and Gastonia indeed does sweep the two halves, it's definitely going to be a two-horse race between Forest City and the Copperheads. So each matchup, in terms of a tiebreaker, becomes critical, especially once you get to the end of the year. You play an even number of games against each other in 12. So you that 7-win mark, that gives you an extra game ahead.
Swing and a miss by Donathan after a ball. 3-2 now on the Owls catcher. And I mentioned earlier that these two teams are in different points of the season in terms of how they're playing. The Copperheads started the season 5-0. On the inside corner, on the 3-2 pitch to Donathan, and he didn't like the call, already took a step toward first base, and he'll have to walk now back toward the Owls dugout. He strikes out for out number 2 in the 5th. Both of these starters beginning to find their own in the middle innings. That is now 7 straight. Sat down by Joe Miller.
Who would have thought that not only Miller would be staying in the ballgame, but that Pearson, who is reaching a very significant pitch count, may even come back out to work the 5th.
90 pitches for Pearson. As Blake mentioned, nearing that elusive 100 pitch mark. But it looks like he's coming back out for the bottom of the 5th. 0-1. Low. 1 ball, 1 strike now on Lambert, who tonight doesn't registered at bat, but he has a run batted in on a sacrifice fly next to a hit by pitch. Came around to score as well on that. 1-1. The wind from Miller, the pitch outside on the corner for a strike, 1-2. The Copperheads beginning the season with a 5-0 start. They have since lost 9 of their last 12 games. Right now, the Copperheads with a record of 8-9. They're 3-7 in their last 10. Line drive, center field, base hit on the 1-2 pitch to Kirby Lambert. He takes a big turnaround first base before putting on the brakes. Lambert has the first Owls hit since the 3rd, and it comes here on a 2-out knock in the 5th. Jake Rucker to the plate, 0-for-1 tonight with a walk. Only 1 hit tonight for the Asheboro Copperheads still here in the 5th inning against Pearson. Granted, Pearson has allowed a ton of guys to get on base via the walk. 7 walks tonight for Pearson on the other side. Ground ball towards second. The second baseman, Shafitzel, will go over to first base onto Morrison to retire Jake Rucker and therefore retire the side. So the Owls get a 2-out single by Kirby Lambert, but are eventually retired on the ground out from Rucker. No runs on a hit. No Owls reaching base on an error, and 1 left for Forest City. Halfway home tonight from Asheboro. We go to the bottom of the 5th next with the score. Owls 3, Copperheads 3 on the Owls Baseball Network.
Find the perfect new home for your family today at Clayton Homes of Shelby. Go see Jason and the rest of the friendly team on East Dixon Boulevard or online at ClaytonHomesofShelby.com. Find the perfect new for your family today at Clayton Homes of Shelby. Go see Jason and the rest of the friendly team on East Dixon Boulevard or online at ClaytonHomesofShelby.com.
Good news, Owls fans. Forest City Honda has been voted the best new and used car dealer by residents of Rutherford County for the last 3 years. Our service department was also awarded Honda's highest honor, the 2018 Express Service Elite Award. There's no doubt we will have your Honda in and out fast. We service any make and model and continue to offer the lowest tire prices in town. Forest City Honda, your hometown dealer. Go Owls!
Back on the Owls Baseball Network, Caleb Pearson back out to work for the Owls in the 5th. He'll go up against the heart of this Asheboro order. Tyler Cranston, Josh Hood, Cam Morrison due up for the Copperheads. Caleb Pearson doing something that I don't think a lot of people in the early innings of this one would have ever thought he could do, get into the 5th inning. The way Pearson looked through the first 2 innings, it's a miracle he is still in the game. Here's a bunt down first. Caleb Pearson picks up the ball and applies the tag. Heck of a play by Pearson, running near the first base line, scooping up the ball on the bunt by Cranston, and then applying the tag to retire the speedy center fielder for the Copperheads. 1 down in the 5th. A 1 unassisted putout, something you don't see all too often, and there's 1 down in the 5th inning.
And I'm sitting a little more to your right, Mitch, and
we're going to get an argument here, by the way.
Yes, we are. Both base coaches, the third base coach out to argue. He'll come across to the field umpire that was stationed at first base, and I'll tell you what, I had a pretty good angle at that, and unless Pearson barely nicked his jersey on that tag, there may have been indeed no tag at all.
Now we're going to get a discussion between the umpires, Corey Gerber and Justin Duplessis, to see if the tag indeed was applied. They're still going to call him out. So the umpires convene and say that Pearson did indeed tag Cranston on his way down to first. 1 down for the Copperheads in the 5th. A big out, number 1.
Well, Pearson hasn't had much help out there on the mound, but he certainly got a little bit of payback right there. May have been one that the Owls have gotten away with.
Swing and a miss by Josh Hood. And I'll tell you what, Blake, I'm going to be completely candid. If somebody told me in the 2nd inning that Caleb Pearson could get through 5 tonight and have a chance at a win should the Owls do something in the top of the 6th, I would pretty much have eaten my hat. Pitches inside.
Well, you know what? Let's give credit where credit is due. Obviously, Pearson came out, had some control issues, but you see only 1 hit so far tonight for Asheboro. So when the control has been there.
Swing and a miss here, 1 and 2. Continue.
Well, when the control has been there, Mitch, he's been hard to figure out.
He has.
It's just finding the zone, and obviously you still have that thrower in the Owls bullpen that has resumed action. Seems like they've gone off and on a couple of times.
Here's a fly ball out toward right center field. Todd Elwood nearing the wall, leaps, and he makes the catch. Todd Elwood, a heck of a play, banging up against the center field wall, more toward the right center gap, losing his hat on the play and banging hard into that wall out there, but nonetheless securing the baseball. He retires Josh Hood on a long fly out for out number 2. It took a long time before one of the umpires threw up their fist.
Well, I think he bobbled the ball a little bit in the air. I don't think he caught it cleanly on that first initial attempt to catch the ball.
First pitch from Pearson bounces about 2 feet in front of home plate for ball 1 against Morrison.
It was just a little difficult to see from the angle that I'm at, so seeing through the window here, that's a little tinted. Maybe I should put that up.
Good call, Blake. Be sure to not knock over your sweet tea there, my friend.
Oh, of course I wouldn't.
Line drive caught by the third baseman, Garrett Blaylock. Heck of a stab there by Blaylock, diving to his left. That was a bullet off the bat of Morrison, and a heck of a play at the hot corner by the Owls' third baseman. A bunch of oddball outs in the 5th inning off Copperheads' bats, and a good defensive inning for the Owls to get out unscathed. 9 straight retired by Caleb Pearson. We're through 5 full here from McCrary Park in Asheboro. On to the 6th we go. The score, the Owls tied with the Copperheads 3-3 on the Owls Baseball Network.
House for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale. Home for sale.
You want a home? We've got a home.
Available now.
Home for sale.
Did you know Friendship Nissan in Forest City will beat any price on any new Nissan by $500? At Friendship Nissan, we do no haggle, clear choice pricing, have the region's only non-commission based sales staff, and we do 2 appraisals on your trade and give you the highest number. Those 3 things and a no strings attached lifetime warranty make us different. Go online and check out our reviews or go to friendshipnissan.com. That's friendshipnissan.com. We're different and we're located in Forest City.
Back on the Owls Baseball Network, Forest City will send up the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to the plate here in the 6th inning, the top of the 6th inning, against a new pitcher. Not a new pitcher, or is it a new pitcher? I think that's still Joe Miller out there, tossing to the Owls, and the first pitch is a breaking ball about a foot behind Paul Salata for a ball 1-0. That is Joe Miller out there, Blake.
We'll get some confirmation. I'm pretty sure that it is. And indeed, it is Joe Miller. So really, you could have said the same thing about eating your hat for Caleb Pearson that you would have for Joe Miller, who's now working his 91st pitch of the ball game into the 6th.
Outside 2-0. Well, Caleb Pearson is done. He will not go in the 6th inning. We just saw him walk down toward the Owls bullpen and shake a bunch of hands. He is done for the night. 2-0. Outside. 3 balls, no strikes on Paul Salata, who is 0 for 2 tonight, and he tries to get on here by drawing a walk. So we will see a new Owl come in to pitch when the bottom of the 6th rolls around. 3-0. High. A 4-pitch walk to Paul Salata. And he reaches for the Owls to start the 6th. Man, what a story would it be, Blake, if Caleb Pearson could somehow escape tonight with a win. He could do that indeed, but it would require the Owls to score a run here in the 6th inning. Paul Salata, the go-ahead run at first base. Nobody out for Forest City. 3-3 ball game, top of the 6th inning, and a bunt down the first base line from Justin Guy. This will get the runner over. The throw to first base is off the mark. Paul Salata heads into third base. Now he's waved around third as the ball is in the bullpen down the right field line. Into score comes Paul Salata, and into third goes Justin Guy with a Little League triple, and the Owls lead it 4-3 here in the 6th.
Well, how about that? Struggling a little bit at the plate, but man, was that a perfectly placed bunt. About 95% sure he would have beat that throw to first regardless of whether it was off target or not. So a great call there by Matt Reed to try to get Justin Guy on the board, even if it was just a sacrifice, but a perfectly placed bunt. Not sure if that'll be called a single. I think he would have beat out that throw, but we'll get the official word. And nevertheless, Justin Guy up to third now, no outs. And now you get the top of this Owls lineup in.
Todd Elwood. So Paul Salata scores. He's the 4th Owls run. It's now 4-3 in the 6th. By the way, Joe Miller has been relieved here in the 6th inning. He is out for a new reliever who's coming into the ball game. We'll send it to a break here in just a second. So Justin Guy gets credit for a sacrifice that puts Paul Salata up at second, but coming around on the same play as the pitcher, Joe Miller, gets tagged with the error for the 3rd time tonight. 3 errors on Miller, responsible for all 3 charged to his ball club tonight. A 2-base error sends Guy all the way up to third, and it even scores Paul Salata, who was on second base after an errant throw coming all the way around. He comes home, and the Owls take a 4-3 lead. New pitcher into the game now, Connor Patterson. You know what? We won't send it to a break, Blake. Break and Blake. Innovative stuff here on the Owls Baseball Network.
Oh, no doubt.
Connor Patterson into the game for Asheboro, replacing Joe Miller, who goes 5+ tonight. He'll face Todd Elwood. So the Owls take a 4-3 lead in the 6th inning on an E1 A two-base error that allows Paul Salata, who would have been at second base after a sacrifice attempt by Justin Guy, to score all the way from second, race around third and score, and give the Owls this 4-3 lead. Justin Guy now positioned on third base. Still nobody out for Forest City in the sixth for Todd Elwood. And now, after all of this, Caleb Pearson is in line for the win. And the Owls will now look to get him some insurance for the later innings, as Pearson will be done after we just saw him go down to the bullpen, having completed the minimum needed to get credit for a win. 5 innings of work for him tonight will get his line when the Copperheads half of the sixth rolls around, but Connor Patterson into the game for Asheboro. He'll be tasked with trying to keep the Owls from scoring another run this inning. With Justin Guy on third, nobody out. 1 run already across, 4-3 Forest City. Infield playing in all the way around for the Copperheads defensively. First pitch to Elwood is outside for a ball, 1-0. Joe Miller, still the responsibility of Justin Guy, who's on third base. Pitch is low, 2-0. We'll also get a total on how many of these runs will end up being earned against Miller by the time it's all said and done. But 4 hits allowed tonight by Miller, despite a lot of base traffic action. Fouled back, 2-1 on Elwood. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts tonight for Miller against the Owls. 2-1 with the infield in to Elwood. Outside, 3-1 with Jake Lyle on deck.
You know, I have to think it's been an adjustment with these pitchers. A lot of rain fell right before we got here, and I'll tell you what, it is very, very humid out here in Asheboro tonight. Have to think maybe that's why some of these guys are having some trouble controlling the pitch.
Todd Elwood takes a ball outside. That's ball 4. And Elwood reaches here with nobody out. First and third now for the Owls. It brings up Jake Lyle, who is 0 for 3 tonight, to try to do something here. Get the Owls at least 1 insurance run. You are correct, though, Blake. A very humid night tonight in Asheboro. Not much wind out there either. Very muggy. Runner takes off towards second. Throw down to second base is high, and a good play by the shortstop Shafitzel. Rather, the shortstop Baber to leap up there. And maybe that was Shafitzel from the second base position. It was, but he leapt up to catch the ball, which was well high on the throw from Orr towards second base. It's a stolen bag for Todd Elwood out of the double play. Second and third now with nobody out. Infield still in. Pitch to Lyle. Pop up. Left side, foul ground. The third baseman, Elliott, nearing the stands, runs out of room as it bounces in toward the bleacher creatures along the left side here at McCrary Park. The play keeps Lyle alive, a 1-ball, 1 strike. Somebody losing yet again for the Copperheads down there in the pen. Pitch. Check swing by Lyle, but called a strike anyway, 1-2. Garrett Blaylock on deck for the Owls, who have a run in the first, second, third, and most recently here in the 6th inning. Lead at 4-3 over the Copperheads. 1-2. Lyle pops this one up. It will stay in play this time. Back of second base, it's going to be the shortstop Baber in short left center field who makes the catch. Bluffing a tag from third, Justin Guy. He decides to hold up. And the Copperheads get a big out, number 1 here in the 6th. Garrett Blaylock now to the plate. Tonight he's 2 for 3 with a run scored and a strikeout. A couple of singles tonight. Looking for his 3rd hit of the game. Calls time at the plate. Patterson stepping off. The pitch to Blaylock. Taken low. Ball 1. One out. Strike inside corner. Caleb Pearson tonight got the Owls the necessary 5 innings to open up the age-old statistic we've been talking about all season. Ground ball right side. This one will get through for a base hit. Coming in to score is Justin Guy. Around third but being held is Todd Elwood. Only 1 run will score on the RBI single from Garrett Blaylock. His 3rd hit of the night gives the Owls a 5-3 lead in the 6th.
Another great at-bat from Garrett Blaylock. Doesn't get hard contact on that one, but still able to find a way through the right side of the infield. And again, another multi-hit game for Garrett Blaylock, who has just been a monster at the plate as of late.
Swing and a miss by Matthew Lumsden. 2 runs across this inning for the Owls. And that ground ball would have almost certainly been fielded had the Copperheads not been playing in. But the right side of that infield playing very far in. That ball just hit right in the most inconvenient spot. Now they got the runner caught between first and second, and a throw home to try to get the runner coming home. Todd Elwood goes over top of the catcher Orr. So coming in to score on the play anyway is Todd Elwood. He gives the Owls a 6-3 lead on another Asheboro Copperhead error here in the 6th. All the way up to third base on the play goes Garrett Blaylock. And the Owls continue to extend the lead. An odd play there. They had Blaylock caught between first and second and then tried to get Elwood coming home, but then the throw was high.
That was an odd play, and odd that you see it go out of play. Actually went into the Owls' dugout. Don't often see that on a throw home, but in this ballpark, capable of happening. That moves Blaylock up to third base. And now with 1 out, the Owls sporting a 3-run advantage.
The count on Lumsden. A 3-run 6th inning for Forest City. Outside, 2-2. Still with 1 out. And an opportunity with a runner on third here. And less than 2 outs for Lumsden to get another fly ball and score another run. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. They'll have to throw down to first base as the pitch was in the turf. They do so successfully on a put out of Lumsden that goes 2-3 on the strikeout swinging. Holding up at third base, Garrett Blaylock now 2 down for the Owls. 6th. Donathan at the plate now for Forest City, 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. First pitch to him is swung on and missed. No balls and a strike. Three-quarter swing here from Donathan and another miss, 0-2. They're in the top of the 7th inning now at High Point Thomasville. High-scoring affair between the Grizzlies and the High Toms, 11-8. Gastonia on top, trying to stay 3 games up in the West Division tonight. Pitch upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Donathan. High and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Donathan, who's been alternating with Carter Foster and Chaston Gordon for the Owls at the catching position so far this season. Donathan has also gotten a couple of starts in the DH spot. Swing and a miss here. He strikes out as Connor Patterson gets out of the 6th inning for the Asheboro Copperheads, but it is a tough one for Asheboro. The Owls put up 3 runs in the 6th on just 1 hit. 2 defensive errors by the Asheboro Copperheads. The Owls strand 1 through 5.5 here from McCrary Park. And to the bottom of the 6th we go. It is the Forest City Owls 6, the Asheboro Copperheads 3 on the Forest City Owls Baseball Network. Rutherford Regional Health System's mission is making communities healthier. By creating places where people choose to come for health care, physicians want to practice, and employees want to work, they are creating a legacy of care for our neighbors today and for generations to come. Whether it be a team like the Forest City Owls or your team at home, they are passionate about caring for you. At Rutherford Regional Health System, they believe each healthcare journey is unique, and that's why they are so dedicated to being experts in you. From personalized orthopedic solutions to patient-centered surgical care, they are there for you every step of the way. As part of Duke LifePoint Healthcare, they offer a team of renowned expertise to be on your side. They can help lead you to even better health with primary care practices, walk-in clinic, children's services, emergency department, urology, radiology, orthopedic care, surgeries, and more. At Rutherford Regional, they're not just experts in health, they are experts in your health care.
Find the perfect new home for your family today at Clayton Homes of Shelby. Go see Jason and the rest of the friendly team on East Dixon Boulevard or online at ClaytonHomesofShelby.com.
Back on the Forest City Owls Baseball Network, Caleb Murphy out to work for Forest City now as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Murphy replacing Caleb Pearson, who's suddenly in the driver's seat for a victory tonight after outlasting his opponent on the mound, Joe Miller. Caleb Pearson tonight, after an incredibly rough start, is able to retire 9 in a row at the end of his outing and get the Owls 5 innings tonight, allowing just 1 hit. The thing that plagued Pearson the most was the 7 walks that he issued. But Pearson nonetheless finds his way out of the ball game and gives his ball club a chance to win. With 5 innings of work tonight, 1 hit, 7 walks, 3 runs, 2 earned. A couple of strikeouts, no hit batsmen for Pearson. And Caleb Pearson gives way to another Caleb in Caleb Murphy, the 6'10" pitcher out of North Greenville, out on the hill to work against Dustin Baber, Jack Elliott, and Parker Orr. It all starts here with Dustin Baber. Murphy of the Owls, making appearance number 4, has 3 appearances prior to this one. 4 innings pitched by Murphy. Has allowed just 1 run, which wasn't earned, and 1 walk that night for Murphy. Against Baber here. A long pause, now comes home. Just outside with Donathan framing the baseball on the outside edge. Doesn't get the call, 2 balls and a strike. Taking a look at this day in baseball history now, as we do every single game on the Owls broadcast. 2-1. Strike, 2-2. And Blake, I'd love to know the Owls record when we have a This Day in Baseball History segment, because it seems like every time we bring this up, the Owls eventually win.
Well, let's keep doing it.
A red-hot bunch of late. 2-2 from Murphy is swung on and lofted toward right field, dropping quickly, diving attempt by Rucker, the second baseman, out into short right field. He can't get it, and it drops in for a hit. Dustin Baber reaches to lead off the 6th inning for the Copperheads. A leadoff single, just the second hit of the night for Asheboro. And it comes in the bottom of the 6th inning, the first hit they've collected since all the way back in the 2nd inning when Brant Schafitzel led off with a single. Later came around to score that inning. 1 on, no out for the Copperheads. First pitch is fouled back to the screen by Jack Elliott, who's 0 for 2 tonight. On June 21st, 2011, this day in baseball history, the Marlins tied the franchise record for most losses in a month, losing to the Angels 6-5 in 10 innings, 0-1. Just outside, 1-1 now on Elliott.
Geez, and it's June 22nd.
20 losses in their first 22 games in the month of June for the Marlins. You talk about a bad start.
Well, you talk about, I mean, that's assuming you have 2 off days that you lost all your games.
Pitches upstairs, runner takes off towards second, and the throw almost goes into center field, and a heck of a job there by Jake Rucker backing up Jake Lyle, who was covering the second base bag. Lyle was set to apply a tag on Dustin Baber, who's in at second safely on a stolen base. But the throw was way high, and Rucker, thankfully, was backing up Lyle. Had to leap as well, but caught the baseball to make sure that Baber couldn't go up to third. Now a 2-1 count on Elliott, with a runner in scoring position for the Copperheads trying to cut down the Owls' lead. 6-3 Forest City, nobody out, bottom of the 6th. Pitch called a strike on the outside edge, 2-2 on Elliott now, who didn't like the call.
Well, if that lets you know how delayed the strike call is, Drew Donathan pointed to the field umpire for an appeal, and then a strike was called, not because of a swing. It's just how delayed the calls have been tonight.
Murphy pauses, comes home, the 2-2. Just upstairs, maybe. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It's been a little bit all over the place tonight. Opposes another starting pitcher who was born after Clemens began his major league career.
Oh, man.
So that's a peculiar one. First pitch from Murphy to Orr is just high, 1-0.
I just don't feel like you see that in baseball as much as you would.
Well, you don't see many guys pitching until they're 44.
Of course, you have that working against you, but if there's one sport where that's going to happen, I'd beg to say it's usually hockey, just because you get so many
Jaromir Jagr type guys.
Well, just guys that are 18 and 19 that start playing in the NHL.
High fly ball toward the right center gap. It's the right fielder Justin Guy who's able to track it down and make the catch on the run. Toward one of the deepest parts of this ballpark, Justin Guy makes a pretty good play out there and retires Parker Orr on a long fly out. That's out number 2 on the play. Dustin Baber tags up from second base. He goes to third. He's there with 2 outs now for Brant Schafitzel.
There you see Justin Guy, and we saw it on that bunt attempt as well as him rounding second on it. He has quite a bit of speed out there when he's running, and you can see it right there on that play. That's hit right in the gap. Should have been a tougher play, but Justin Guy able to get over there in time.
Pitch called a strike at the knees on the 9-hitter Schafitzel. 0-1. So in that matchup between Roger Clemens, who was 44 years old, he was taking on 22-year-old Twins rookie Francisco Liriano. Called a strike yet again in pretty much the same spot, 0-2. But Francisco Liriano, who was half of Clemens' age, winning the battle there. A 4-2 win for Liriano's Twins over Clemens' Astros. 0-2. Inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In 1994 on this day, Ken Griffey Jr. breaks a record set by Babe Ruth of the Yankees for the most home runs before the 1st of July, hitting his 31st home run of the season. Ground ball headed up the middle, diving attempt by the shortstop Lyle, but he can't get it. It goes into center field for a base hit, and the Cubs get a run back in the bottom of the 6th. That's 6-4 Forest City as Dustin Baber comes in to score. So give Brant Schafitzel his 2nd hit of the night. And an RBI for him as well. 6-4 Owls as we work here in the 6th inning. That's a big run for Asheboro. Able to get something back. It is an earned run charged to Caleb Murphy. The first earned run against him this season from any ball club. Count 1-0 now on Miles Nicholson, who's 0 for 1 tonight with 2 walks. Schafitzel off of first. And a fly ball out toward left. The left fielder Lambert, nearing the line, makes the catch. So Nicholson flies out to left field for the 2nd time tonight, and that ends the Asheboro 6th inning. But the Copperheads do score a run on 2 hits, including the RBI run-scoring single by Brant Schafitzel. No errors for the Owls, and the Copperheads strand a runner. To the 7th we go. The new score, Forest City 6 and Asheboro 4 on the Owls Baseball Network.
Tired of the same old diet? Jumpstart your weight loss with the ketogenic diet.
I lost 6 inches in 4 weeks. I've never felt better.
You want to reduce the amount of available glucose. That's going to help you burn body fat. The Keto 30 Challenge is just 4 easy steps. Start your day with a meal replacement shake. Eat 2 low-carb meals. Drink a refreshing and energizing BHB. Get moving. It's that easy. No weird food, no counting points, no mail-order meals.
This is the first program that's worked for me.
Feel your best. Take the Keto 30 Challenge today.
Gardner-Webb University is introducing its 10-month MBA program. Fast, affordable, and all online. Competitively priced under $20,000. As a Gardner-Webb MBA graduate myself, it is really important to continue the pursuit of lifelong learning. Mostly from a leader of individuals, but also from leading myself to be the best that I can be. Gardner-Webb University 10-month MBA. Ignite your career at the speed of light.
Back on the Owls Baseball Network, 6-4 lead for Forest City. The Owls will send Kirby Lambert, Jake Rucker, and Paul Salata to the plate in the 7th inning. And I believe they'll still go up against Connor Patterson. It is indeed Connor Patterson who remains in the game for the Copperheads. Lambert on the night, 1 for 1. A hit by pitch against him and a sacrifice fly. Takes one high and away for a ball, 1-0. The Owls trying to get 2 games above 500 for the first time all season tonight. 1-0. Swing and a miss by Lambert, a ball and a strike. Guy Roger Clemens was. On the outside corner, 2-2 now on Kirby Lambert. I'm going to look up Roger Clemens now just because I'm interested who he pitched for in total over the course of his very long MLB career. 2-2. Just outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Kirby Lambert, who tries to continue to assist that team leading on base percentage. The 3-2. On the inside corner, a called 3rd strike. A pretty good breaking pitch there from Connor Patterson. 3 straight strikeouts from Patterson dating back to last inning. He strikes out Lambert here, 1 down in the 7th. Brings up Jake Rucker, who tonight is 0 for 2 with a walk. 24 seasons for Roger Clemens, the Rocket. Boston Red Sox for 13 seasons from the mid-'80s to the late 90s. 1-0 after a ball inside to Jake Rucker. Toronto Blue Jays for a couple of years. That's an odd one, Blake. When you think of Roger Clemens, the last team you think of is the Toronto Blue Jays. And I honestly did not know that he ever pitched for Toronto. Pitch way outside, 2-0. Our owner, Phil, clearly a little sour about Roger Clemens. Phil, a huge Red Sox fan. Roger Clemens departing Boston after 1996. Ball 3 here to Jake Rucker. He's above Connor Patterson, 3-0 with the bases empty and 1 out. So 2 years in Toronto for Roger. Here's ball 4 to Rucker. He draws his second walk of the night, 1 on with 1 out for the Owls here in the 7th inning, as Paul Salata now steps to the plate. Then Roger spent 5 years in New York with the Yankees, and then spending his 40-plus years of age years with the Astros for 3 seasons and Yankees to round out his career in 2007. Fly ball out towards center. In on it, Cranston toward the right center gap to make the catch. That retires Paul Salata on the fly out. It brings up the 9-hitter Justin Guy as Rucker retreats back to first with 2 outs to make when the bottom of the 7th inning rolls around. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on base for the Owls in the top of the 7th inning. It's stretch time here in Asheboro. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th now with the score. Forest City up on Asheboro 6-4. We'll be back in a moment on the Owls Baseball Network.
Seen by all the Carolinas through winter, spring, summer, and fall. The Carolinas, full of charm and history. The Carolinas, there's no place I'd rather be. The Carolinas, where the good folks move and roam. The Carolinas, this place is our home, sweet home. Yeah.
Back for the bottom of the 7th inning, Dalton Sinkfeld, Tyler Cranston, Josh Hood due up. The heart of this Asheboro order, the 2 through 4 hitters for the Copperheads here in inning number 7 against Caleb Murphy, the right-hander still dealing for the Owls. Murphy set to face Sinkfeld first. Base is empty, nobody out. Starting the Asheboro bottom half of the 7th inning. Right here. So the point I was about to ask you, Blake, have you ever watched a 30 for 30? Are you a big 30 for 30?
I haven't watched all of them, but each one that I have watched I've thoroughly enjoyed.
All right, so have you ever watched 4 Days in October?
I actually have not watched that one, no.
Pitches low and inside on Sinkfeld 1-0. So that's probably my favorite one. It's debatable. I've seen a couple 30 for 30s that I've loved. 1-0. High fly ball hit well down the right field line, but this one is hooking foul. You talk about a long foul ball there by Dalton Sinkfeld. Crushed that baseball, but up toward the concourse area along the right side of this ballpark for a long strike, 1-1. Wow. One. Called low for a ball, 2-1 now on Sinkfeld. So I think my 2 favorite 30 for 30s are 4 Days in October, which basically describes the Red Sox comeback on the Yankees in the 2004 American League Championship Series. 2-1 is a strike on the outside edge, 2-2. My other favorite is non-baseball related. It's a football related 30 for 30, and it discusses the dominance of the USC Trojans in the mid-2000s. 2-2 was a ground ball right side. Should be a playable ball for the second baseman Rucker. He fields it on the right side of the infield, then underhand tosses it on to Salata at first to retire Dalton Sinkfeld for out number 1. And it brings up Tyler Cranston here, who's 0 for 3. So the other 30 for 30 I like describes the USC Trojans' dominance. That 30 for 30 I believe is called Trojan Wars. That's probably right there with 4 days in October. Do you have a 30 for 30 that you like more so than others?
I believe the first one they ever made was the one about Reggie Miller versus the New York Knicks, and I grew up a little biased. My uncle, still to this day, great friends with Rick Smits, who was the center for the Indiana Pacers for much of the 1990s. Was an NBA All-Star and got to know my family because he's actually a very avid racer doing drag racing with motorcycles, which I don't know if you can imagine a 7'4" center getting on a motorcycle and trying to be somewhat aerodynamic. So that one comes to mind, and I kind of like the legal side of the one about the whole Duke lacrosse
That's a good
case.
one, too.
That's a really good one. And then, of course, I have to show my colors here, the one about Tim Richmond, the NASCAR driver in the 80s.
4 straight balls issued by Caleb Murphy. He walks Tyler Cranston with 1 out in the 7th inning. The second time tonight that Cranston has reached. The other time was on a fielder's choice. 1 on, 1 out now for the Copperheads in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now, the only reason I was thinking of 30 for 30s in general is because we were talking about Roger Clemens, and for whatever reason that made me think of Kurt Schilling, and then for whatever reason that made me think of 30 for 30.
Well, I had heard it 4 days in October. I just haven't. I'll have to make sure sometime, maybe the off day tomorrow.
You need to watch that. You need to watch that. Ball 1 issued to Josh Hood, 1-0. It's an excellent film. Very well put together. Runner takes off, pitches upstairs for a ball. Throw is into center field, but cut off before it gets there by Lyle, who was crossing up Rucker, who had to field the ball near second base. It was way above his head, but Lyle had to collect it behind Rucker and keep that ball from hitting grass out in center field. It's a stolen bag for Cranston here with 1 out. We've seen Donathan have a lot of trouble throwing down to second base, especially in the last couple of innings, even on warm-up pitches at the end of a warm-up sequence. 2-0 to Hood. This one's fouled back up against the netting, 2 balls and a strike. But I don't mean to spoil anything for you, Blake. In 4 days in October, the best scene is Game 6. So at this point, the Red Sox had already been down 3-0 in the series. They had won 2 straight games with David Ortiz just pretty much taking things over in 2 games that took place in Boston. So they went back to New York for the final 2 games. The Red Sox had to win both to win the series. Ball here to Hood, 2-1. And now the 2-1 pitch comes. Runner takes off toward third. Is called a ball. Throw down to third is off the mark, and it allows Cranston to get in there safely with his second stolen base during this at bat. Josh Hood now up 3-1 against Caleb Murphy.
Just think Drew Donathan has a little case of the yips right now.
Just a little bit. I'll complete the story after this at bat because this is a pretty big moment in the game. 3-1, misses low, ball 4. Back-to-back walks issued by Caleb Murphy. We'll see if the Owls get anybody up in the pen. 2 on with 1 out now for the Copperheads as Cam Morrison comes up, and he's been on base twice tonight with a couple of walks. Still only 3 hits for Asheboro, but the Owls collectively have walked 9 tonight. And that's a big reason why the Copperheads are still hanging around. 6-4. Called a strike outside corner to Cam Morrison. So Kurt Schilling pitched in Game 6 for the Red Sox against the Yankees and had some type of procedure done on his ankle where he was bleeding through his sock the entire game. Pitches outside for a ball with the runner taking off towards second, with Cranston staying put on third. Josh Hood decides to move up 90 feet. He steals second, and runners at second and third now, 2 in scoring position for Asheboro with a 1-1 count. So that's pretty much it, Blake. I don't mean to bore you with details of a 30 for 30, especially in a 2-run game right now, but that's pretty much the synopsis of it. You got to watch it for yourself. 3-quarter swing here, a bad-looking one from Cam Morrison. Decided to hold up a little bit too late. Pitch was in the turf from Murphy, and now Morrison behind 1-2. A big chance for Murphy to pick up a big strikeout. 2 on, 1 out. The 1-2 to Morrison. On the way for Murphy. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 2 down for the Copperheads now in the 7th. And a chance for Murphy now to get out of this inning with Dustin Baber coming up. Tonight, Baber, a run batted in on a sacrifice fly, a fly out, and a single in his last at-bat back in the 6th inning. Was driven home on an RBI single from Brant Shafitz last inning as well. The Owls led 6-3. The Copperheads made it 6-4 last inning, trying to tie up the ball game here. A Dustin Baber single could do so. First pitch to him. Outside. 1 ball, no strikes. We thank you for tuning in tonight on YouTube. Another day with the Mixler audio app down due to company maintenance. Strike called, 1-1 now on Baber.
You know, Mitch, I think we're going to have to take a poll. Got pretty good viewership tonight, and wonder if some of the viewers out there not just enjoying the audio, but some of the extra visuals we have being able to stream to YouTube. We may have to make YouTube the new radio home.
Ground ball into left field and a base hit. 1 run will score. Being waved around third is Josh Hood. The throw to the plate is on the money. Not in time.
Oh.
Sliding just beneath the tag is Josh Hood. And up to second base goes Dustin Baber after his 2-run game-tying single. We're all knotted up at 6 here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Blake.
Well, and Kirby Lambert earlier in this game saved a run, and I'll be something if he didn't save a run there. That was Owls dugout very upset with that call that ends up tying this ball game. Lambert was right on the money with that throw. Drew Donathan, perfect placement on the plate. I just don't know where that tag would have missed.
Jack Elliott at the plate. Now a chance to give the Copperheads the lead. Runner takes off toward third, and a ball is hit towards second. Jake Rucker takes it on 1 hop and throws on to Salata at first to end the frame. But it's a tough one for the Owls to swallow. This ball game's evened up once again. Forest City allows 2 Asheboro runs to score in the 7th inning on 1 hit. The game-tying 2-run single from Dustin Baber. No defensive errors by the Owls, and 1 left for Asheboro. On to the 8th we march. It's now the Owls 6 and the Copperheads 6 on the Owls Baseball Network.
Question: how can such a small thing have such bold flavor? How can this little piece of cheddar have such big crunch? How is it possible for this entire bag of cheese crisps to have almost no carbs? F-Bomb Keto Crunch is 100% natural premium artisan cheese, sustainably produced with premium milk from local family farm cows, made from simple ingredients for your snacking pleasure. Ditch the chips and grab the crisps. F-Bomb Keto Crunch.
Find the perfect new home for your family today at Clayton Homes of Shelby. Go see Jason and the rest of the friendly team on East Dixon Boulevard or online at ClaytonHomesofShelby.com. Find the perfect new home for your family today at Clayton Homes of Shelby. Go see Jason and the rest of the friendly team on East Dixon Boulevard or online at ClaytonHomesofShelby.com.
So in the bottom of the 7th inning, the Owls forfeit the lead but don't allow the game to get away from them. They stay right in it. But of course the game now tied up 6-6 as we go to the 8th. The Owls will send the top of their order, starting here with Todd Elwood to the plate against Connor Patterson, who remains in the game to work. First pitch from Patterson. Ground ball left side. Going to be a tough play for Baber. Rushes in to throw the ball toward first, and it gets away from the first baseman Morrison. Todd Elwood rounds second now, puts on the brakes. He'll settle at first, and then at second for the Owls to start the 8th inning. Elwood reaches first base, and there will definitely be a throwing error there charged to Baber, the shortstop. It is an E that allows Elwood to get to second with nobody out for the Owls in the 8th inning.
No doubt an error on the throw, although Elwood clearly beat that throw to first. And I believe we get confirmation just like that, that hit will count, but the error will be charged to move him to second base. It's the 5th, I believe if that's right, the 5th error on a Copperhead tonight.
Now we're going to get a long mound visit. The entire infield for Asheboro right now to talk things over. Todd Elwood reaches on an infield single and then advances to second on an E6. Todd Elwood has that potential because he is so fast. Anytime he hits a slow ground ball, he has the chance to reach. Doing so there and then having the speed to get up to second base on the errant throw by Baber. The pitching visit comes to an end. Patterson stays in the game for Asheboro, and we'll see what the strategy is here. We saw Matt Reed talking to Jake Lyle down there while the pitching visit was going on. Lyle tonight is 0 for 4, has struggled at the plate as of late, but has a chance here to do something. We'll see if the Owls put a bunt on here. With the ball game tied and a runner at second base, nobody out, top of the 8th inning. First pitch to Lyle is high and away, 1-0.
It's also worth mentioning, Mitch, that throw to first, definitely overthrown, but there is a large hill that is in play on the right side behind first base. That ball traveled all the way up on that hill and stopped at the fencing, and that's probably a 10-foot incline or so right there.
Lyle takes one on the inside edge for a strike, 1-1.
Okay, maybe not 10, maybe 8 or 9 feet, but nevertheless, there is. That was
a large incline.
That was a climb for Parker Orr to get to that baseball. It would be hard to throw one out of this park to give him second base automatically, but
it would have to go into the dugout, if anything, because you're not going to get it up over that hill and over that fence. That is quite an incline. Stepping off the rubber now, Patterson looking Elwood back to second. I'll tell you what, Blake, for the time of night it is, and we're at 9:36 now Eastern, it is still very humid.
Yes.
72 degrees in Asheboro. Cloudy skies, but very muggy. Runner takes off toward third. Lyle shows bunt, pulls back, takes a ball, and there won't be a throw to third. So Todd Elwood collects a sneaky stolen base there, and a big one for the Owls, his second stolen bag of the night. And Elwood reaches third with nobody out. Now a 2-1 count on Lyle as well.
Well, now you have the suicide squeeze that's in play that you can possibly do, but keep in mind you also have Garrett Blaylock, already 3 hits in the ball game up.
Lyle lines one down the left field line. It drops in for a hit. In to score comes Todd Elwood to give the Owls a 7-6 lead in the 8th inning. The first hit of the night for Jake Lyle is a big one, and the Owls regain the lead in the late innings. Back-to-back hits for Forest City to start the 8th. And this one drives home a run, 7-6 Owls, with Lyle on first and nobody out. It brings up Garrett Blaylock as the Owls now try to add on to their one-run lead.
I'll have to tell you what, Mitch, if there's a way we could somehow track in these game notes sometime about where the team is hitting in each spot in the batting order, because the top 3 hitters for Forest City all season, no matter who they are, have just been absolutely incredible this year.
Runner takes off towards second. Pitch is taken for a ball. Throw down to second base. Goes into center field. Not secured by Baber, the shortstop, who is covering the bag. And it's a stolen base for Jake Lyle. Just his 3rd of the year. And he's at second base with nobody out now. Blaylock, a 1-1 count. The second stolen base this inning for the Owls as they look for insurance. The pitcher, Patterson, now looks for a new baseball, exchanging one with the plate umpire, Corey Gerber. Somebody's up and throwing down there in the Asheboro pen. Pitch to the lefty, Blaylock, is a pop-up. Over toward the bleacher area along the left side of the ballpark. It gets out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. One, 2, swing and a miss. Big strikeout there from Connor Patterson. He gets Garrett Blaylock for out number 1. Brings up Matthew Lumsden here with 1 down now and a runner on second. Lumsden tonight, a sacrifice fly, was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. But since then, a couple of strikeouts. Coming to the plate here in the 8th, still looking for his first hit of the evening. Ground ball toward the middle. This one squeaks through for a base hit into right center field. Around third and headed toward the plate comes Jake Lyle. The throw to the plate is late and over top of the catcher Orr. Now headed for third is Matthew Lumsden. He slides in feet first safely. The Owls take an 8-6 lead on an RBI knock from Matthew Lumsden to score Lyle. And then on the errant throw to the plate, Matthew Lumsden heads into third. 6 errors now charged to the Asheboro Copperheads, and we're going to get a pitching change now. The Owls putting up a 2 spot here in the 8th, and the chance with 1 out to add another. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in a moment on the Owls Baseball Network with the score: Forest City 8, Asheboro 6, a runner on third and 1 out, when we'll come back with a new pitcher in for Asheboro. Rutherford Regional Health System's mission is making communities healthier. By creating places where people choose to come for health care, physicians want to practice, and employees want to work, they are creating a legacy of care for our neighbors today and for generations to come. Whether it be a team like the Forest City Owls or your team at home, they are passionate about caring for you. At Rutherford Regional Health System, they believe each healthcare journey is unique, and that's why they are so dedicated to being experts in you. From personalized orthopedic solutions to patient-centered surgical care, they are there for you every step of the way. As part of Duke LifePoint Healthcare, they offer a team of renowned expertise to be on your side. They can help lead you to even better health with primary care practices, walk-in clinic, children's services, emergency department, urology, radiology, orthopedic care, surgeries, and more. At Rutherford Regional, they're not just experts in health, they are experts in your health care.
Did you know Friendship Nissan in Forest City will beat any price on any new Nissan by $500? At Friendship Nissan, we do no haggle, clear choice pricing, have the region's only non-commission based sales staff, and we do 2 appraisals on your trade and give you the highest number. Those 3 things and a no strings attached lifetime warranty make us different. Go online and check out our reviews, or go to friendshipnissan.com. That's friendshipnissan.com. We're different, and we're located in Forest City.
New pitcher into the game for the Copperheads is the right-hander Cam Reed. He takes over for Connor Patterson after the Owls put up a 2-spot in inning number 8 to regain the lead over Asheboro in what has been a very back-and-forth ball game here tonight, with the Owls taking leads at points and the Copperheads things up as recently as the bottom of the 7th. The Owls at one point in this game led 6-3, 3 unanswered by the Copperheads, tied the game at 6, and then the Owls this inning have regained the lead 8-6. It brings up Drew Donathan, runner on third for the Owls. First pitch from Reed is swung on and missed by Donathan for a strike. Donathan tonight, a walk and 3 strikeouts against the Asheboro pitching staff. 8 runs on 8 hits for the Owls, 6 runs on 4 hits for Asheboro. 0-1 pitch to Donathan. Check swing, taken low for a ball. Matthew Lumsden and Jake Lyle, each with a run batted in this inning for the Owls. Lumsden hanging out at third base, swing and a miss by Donathan, who now falls behind a ball and 2 strikes. See if Reed can get a big out here. 1-2. Chopper right back toward the mound. This won't score a run. The throw comes toward first to get Drew Donathan 1-3. Holding up at third, Lumsden. He'll be there now with 2 outs for Kirby Lambert. Cam Reed takes over for Connor Patterson, who goes 2 1/3 tonight in relief of Joe Miller, the original starter. Patterson, 4 hits allowed, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks in his 2 and so innings of relief. Reed in the game right now for Asheboro. First pitch to Lambert is swung on and foul tipped into the glove of Orr for a strike. 0-1. Reed making appearance number 10. 11 innings of work for him this season with 15 hits allowed. Outside on the corner to Lambert, who falls behind 0-2. An ERA for Reed on the season just under 5. 6 walks, 3 strikeouts for the right-hander out of the Asheboro pen so far this season. 0-2 to Lambert. Just outside, a ball, 1-2. Lambert tonight, a sacrifice fly, a single, a hit by pitch, and a strikeout. A lot of things happening for the lefty hitter Lambert. Getting the job done for the most part at the plate. 1-2 to him. Fouled back. Lambert grinds in behind 1-2 against Reed. 1-2. Breaking pitch gets away from the catcher Orr. Scrambling home comes Matthew Lumsden. He will score without a throw. As Orr, the catcher, had to go to the backstop to get it after ball 2 skipped out of the glove of Orr. A wild pitch scores another run. The Owls lead at 9-6 now in the 8th. Three runs in the 8th inning here for the Owls, and they catch a break here on the 3rd run they score on the wild pitch from Reed. Base is now empty with 2 outs. A 2-2 count now on Lambert. Here it comes. Fouled away. Stays 2-2. Todd Elwood, Jake Lyle, and Matthew Lumsden have all scored. An RBI single from Lyle got the Owls their first run to score Elwood here in the 8th inning. And then an RBI from Lumsden scored Lyle with 1 out. A wild pitch then plated Lumsden to give the Owls this 3-run lead. Lambert now batting with the bases empty. New arm pitching right now for Asheboro down in the bullpen. 2-2. Low and inside. The count has filled up now on Lambert after falling behind 0-2. Trying to make something happen. Three-two pitch. High, ball 4. Kirby Lambert draws a very well-earned walk with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Getting on base for the 3rd time tonight. He's in at first for Jake Rucker. Rucker has walked twice in this game. He looks to figure his way on base here. He can do so in a variety of ways. A strikeout and a ground out for him tonight. First pitch is outside, 1-0. Score update, rather a final score update from High Point Thomasville. The Gastonia Grizzlies 12-10 winners tonight at High Point Thomasville. Here's a foul tip into the glove of Orr off of Rucker's bat. Now a ball and a strike. So the most the Owls can do tonight is keep pace as the Grizzlies improve to 14-6. The High Point Thomasville High Toms on the night fall to 6-12. 1-1. Fly ball down the right field line. This one will drop on the hillside for a foul ball over near the right field foul pole. Now a ball and 2 strikes on Rucker. They're in the bottom of the 9th in Savannah. The Macon Bacon trying to get out of Savannah. With a W, they lead at 2-1. With Savannah having their last chance at the plate. The Bacon looking to move 2 games up in the South Division, with the Bananas hitting a free fall right now. Macon looking for their 7th win in a row. Here's a fly ball hit well toward left. Nicholson, the left fielder, goes back on it, and he can't get it. It bangs up against the wall. Around third comes Kirby Lambert. He will come in to score to give the Owls a 10-6 lead, and into second base with an RBI double, Jake Rucker. And the Owls lead this thing by 4 in the 8th. Give Jake Rucker his 2nd run batted in this season for the Owls. And a 4-run 8th inning for Forest City. 10-6 on top of Asheboro now as Paul Salata comes to the plate. Tonight, Salata 0 for 3 with a walk. Runner on second, 2 outs. He swings through the first pitch he sees. He's behind 0-1. They're in the bottom of the 8th at Peninsula. The Martinsville Mustangs trail the Pilots 4-2. Fouled back by Salata. He's behind. No balls, 2 strikes. Fayetteville up on Holly Springs. 7-6. That game's in the bottom of the 7th inning. We have an extra innings ball game from Edenton. The Wilson Taubes in the bottom of the 10th inning, leading Edenton 4-2. Strike 3 called on the outside corner to Paul Salata, and he is retired via strikeout for the 3rd time tonight. But 8 men come to the plate for the Owls in the 8th inning. It was a productive one. 4 runs crossed the plate for Forest City in the 8th on 4 hits. 2 defensive errors by Asheboro, and the Owls strand 1. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Now 10-6 Owls on the Forest City Owls Baseball Network.
Good news, Owls fans. Forest City Honda has been voted the best new and used car dealer by residents of Rutherford County for the last 3 years. Our service department was also awarded Honda's highest honor, the 2018 Express Service Elite Award. There's no doubt we will have your Honda in and out fast. We service any make and model and continue to offer the lowest tire prices in town. Forest City Honda, your hometown dealer. Go Owls!
House for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale.
Home for sale. Home for sale.
You want a home? We've got a home.
Available now.
Home for sale.
New pitcher into the game for Forest City. It's the right-hander Matt Harrison who takes over for Caleb Murphy here tonight. Harrison takes over for Murphy, who goes 2 innings on the evening, allows 3 hits in his time out there, 3 runs, all of which were earned. Out of the 6 total scored tonight by Asheboro, who trails the Owls 10-6. For Murphy, 2 strikeouts in his outing, 2 walks, no hit batters, giving way to the righty Harrison, who comes into the ball game for another relief appearance. The only Owl to play both ways on the diamond on the 2019 roster, has gotten appearances at first base, at designated hitter while in the lineup, but has also made a couple of sparse relief appearances. The last relief appearance for Harrison did not go very well. Came into the ball game on the 15th against the Gastonia Grizzlies. That was game 2 of a doubleheader. Harrison went only a third of an inning, only getting 1 out, allowing 3 hits and 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. Slow roller left side. The third baseman Blaylock picks the ball up, throws across, and gets Parker Orr, the leadoff hitter for the Copperheads, by a couple of steps. A 5-3 putout is out number 1 for the Copperheads in the 8th. And it brings up Brant Schafitzel. Tonight, he's 2 for 3. 2 singles, a run scored, and an RBI. Also had a ground out back in the 4th. Comes to the plate here with the bases empty and 1 out for the Snakes in the 8th. Harrison stares in toward the plate, now comes home. Inside. A ball and no strikes on Schafitzel. Harrison out of West Virginia State, a Cross Lanes, West Virginia native, 21 years of age. When at school, he majors in sports studies coming off his junior season. Strike is called, 1-1 on Schafitzel. Making appearance number 6 here tonight is Harrison. A record of 0-1, 6 innings of work. Don't pay too much attention to that earned run average, which sits at 18. Pitch low, 2-1. And that's the thing when you pitch pretty much an inning at a time and you allow a real crooked number one day or another. It can pretty much ruin your ERA for almost an entire season. 2-1 is a ground ball right side. Sliding and making a stop is Rucker. He throws on to first and gets the out. Rucker slid into the outfield grass deep in the hole on the right side, then spun from the ground and threw on to first to Salata to retire Brant Schafitzel for the 2nd out of the 8th inning, Blake.
Well, I'll tell you what, these Owls have turned in several highlight-worthy plays here on the defensive side, and that one from Rucker, no exception. Fields it on the ground while he's going to the ground, takes a spin, throws a bullet to first base for the out. Believe that's one we'll have to replay over the video sometime later tomorrow, but either way, there's been a few of those plays for the Owls tonight who we had talked about the last couple of weeks. Some of the defensive miscues have been hurting them, but they've made, amongst 2 errors, they have made some stellar defensive plays tonight.
Pitch is called, ball 1 to Miles Nicholson. Batting here with the bases empty and 2 outs for the Copperheads in the 8th. Ground ball right side. Rucker making another play deep in the hole on the right side. Throws on to first. This time it's too late, as Rucker bobbled the ball after picking it up and then tried to throw on to Salata from a couple of feet away from the bag. Nicholson hustling down that first base line, winds up being safe. And we'll see what it's rolled as Nicholson reaches. So Nicholson gets a hit with 2 outs here. An infield knock. The speedster now takes off towards second, and the throw is off the mark, being knocked to the ground by Lyle, who was covering the bag, moving to the right of the bag, then knocking down the ball to keep it from sailing into center field. Nicholson steals another base. Stolen base number 3 tonight for Nicholson. He's in scoring position with 2 outs now for Sinkfeld, who's behind in the count 0-1. 0-1 pitch to Sinkfeld from Harrison, with Nicholson getting a decent lead off of second. Pitch is called a strike, 0-2.
Also worth noting that Chaston Gordon is the one that threw that play down to second as Drew Donathan steps out of the ball game.
Good catch, Blake. Chaston Gordon now into the game defensively for the Owls, replacing Drew Donathan. Swing and a miss. Matt Harrison gets the strikeout on 3 pitches of Dalton Sinkfeld, and that retires the side in the 8th. So the Copperheads collect a hit after a couple of ground outs. No runs in the inning on 1 hit. The 2-out single from Miles Nicholson. No defensive errors by the Owls and 1 left. We head to the 9th with the score still Forest City 10 and Asheboro 6 on the Owls Baseball Network. Rutherford Regional Health System's mission is making communities healthier. By creating places where people choose to come for health care, physicians want to practice, and employees want to work, they are creating a legacy of care for our neighbors today and for generations to come. Whether it be a team like the Forest City Owls or your team at home, they are passionate about caring for you. At Rutherford Regional Health System, they believe each healthcare journey is unique, and that's why they are so dedicated to being experts in you. From personalized orthopedic solutions to patient-centered surgical care, they are there for you every step of the way. As part of Duke LifePoint Healthcare, they offer a team of renowned expertise to be on your side. They can help lead you to even better health with primary care practices, walk-in clinic, children's services, emergency department, urology, radiology, orthopedic care, surgeries, and more. At Rutherford Regional, they're not just experts in health, they are experts in your health care. New pitcher into the game for Asheboro as we go to the top of the 9th inning. The Owls set to send the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to the plate here for the 9th. It'll be Justin Guy, Todd Elwood, and Jake Lyle against Bryce Marsh, the right-hander, who enters the ball game, takes over for Cam Reed. We have a couple of pitching lines to clear up for you for the Asheboro Copperheads as we now get set to introduce their 4th pitcher of the ball game. Asheboro now closing the door on both Connor Patterson and Cam Reed. Staring in at Justin Guy, who looks for his first hit of the night. Marsh winds home. Guy gets a bunt down. It's a good one down the third base line. The scoop is made by Elliott. The throw on to first with Guy sliding into first base, feet first. But the throw is just in time to get the speedy right fielder for the Owls 1 down in the 9th. A 5-3 putout and a good play by the third baseman Elliott, charging that bunt attempt by Justin Guy. Gloving it and then throwing on to first to get the out. 1 down, and it brings up Todd Elwood. Pitch to Elwood outside for a ball, 1-0. Elwood tonight 2 singles and a walk. next to a couple of ground outs. Here are the lines we have officially complete for a couple of pitchers on Asheboro. Strike called now on Elwood, a ball and a strike. Connor Patterson goes 2 1/3 tonight in relief, allows 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 of which were earned, 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. Breaking ball outside to Elwood, 2-1. Cam Reed goes 2/3 of an inning. He gives way to Marsh here in the 9th. Allows 1 hit and 1 earned run with a strikeout and a walk. 2-1 to Elwood. Line drive down the left field line, but just foul. With Elwood slapping that ball the opposite way. Just pointed it a little bit too much down the line, and it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes on the Owls center fielder. Got an RBI on a single back in the 2nd inning, did Elwood. One of the hottest hitters in the Owls lineup. We'll continue to talk about that. He's been in the lineup now 4 straight games. Slaps this one out of play along the left side. Stays alive here. Still a count that's even at 2-2. Elwood, a UNC Charlotte product out of Indian Trail, North Carolina. Majoring in psychology, getting his 13th game played tonight. Has now over 50 at-bats for the Owls this season. And a batting average a good bit over 300. Good eye for him here. Takes one just outside, 3-2. 5 runs batted in now for Elwood with 11 runs scored this season. Little flare out towards short left field, dropping quickly, but Nicholson hustles in to make the catch. On a ball that goes right off the end of Elwood's bat, who was looking the opposite way the whole time. He flies out to left, and there's 2 down for Jake Lyle. Nobody up and throwing down there in the Owls bullpen, so it's presumed that Matt Harrison will come out to work the 9th inning with the Owls up 4 runs. Fouled out of play by Lyle. The Owls looking for their 4th win in a row. Trying to do so here tonight. By the way, we saw Bryce Marsh back on June the 4th. Marsh picked up a save for the Copperheads in that 6-4 win over the Owls in the first meeting this season of the season series. One to Lyle. Low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Time called at the plate. Now we'll resume action. Starting to cool off a little bit here from Asheboro. 2-1. Ground ball left side, fielded by the 3rd baseman, Elliott. He picks it up and throws on to first to retire the side. The Owls go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 9th. The 1-2-3 inning brought to you by Copper Penny Bar and Grill, located in downtown Forest City. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base for the Owls in the 9th. Last wraps for the Copperheads coming up in the bottom of the 9th with the score as we go there. The Owls 10 and the Copperheads 6 on the Forest City Owls Baseball Network.
Seen by all the Carolinas through winter, spring, summer, and fall. The Carolinas, full of charm and history. The Carolinas, there's no place I'd rather be. The Carolinas, where the good folks move and roam. The Carolinas, this place is our home sweet home. Yeah.
The Owls now looking for their 4th win in a row as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, leading Asheboro 10-6. Tyler Cranston, Josh Hood, and Cam Morrison due up in the 9th for the Copperheads, looking to extend this ball game. Cranston leading off the meat of the Asheboro order due up. First pitch from Harrison is outside. The Owls have certainly put up runs, especially over the last 3 games. 13 runs on Thursday against the High Toms. Little flare out to short left field. The ball's going to be caught by the shortstop Lyle, who raced out there to make the catch beyond third base. A ball that was dropping quickly out into short left field, but Lyle makes a pretty good running catch to retire Tyler Cranston for out number 1. 1 down in the 9th. Josh Hood now to the plate. Hood tonight 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts and a couple of walks. Takes one down the middle for a strike. 13 runs for the Owls against the High Toms on Thursday. 10 runs yesterday at home against these Copperheads. 20 runs in the last 2 games against Asheboro. Here's a fly ball out toward left. Lambert, the left fielder for the Owls, in foul ground. Can't make the catch. And now retrieves the baseball over near the wall. Lambert looked like he overran that one, Blake, and then had to kind of stab his hand out there at the last second behind him to try to make the catch as he realized he had gone too far.
Indeed, he had a long way to run for that, and you turn on the Jets, and unfortunately that time for Lambert just turned them on just a little too much, had to try to backhand that.
Strike 3 called on Josh Hood. 2 down for the Copperheads now in the 9th. So it won't matter. They let the ball drop, and then Hood is struck out by Matt Harrison, and suddenly the Copperheads down to their final out tonight as Cam Morrison steps up to the plate. Tonight he's 0 for 2 with 2 walks. The first pitch to him from Harrison is outside. The Owls with a run in each of the first 3 innings, 3 runs in the 6th, and 4 runs in the 8th. The 1-0. Inside, 2-0. Copperheads with 2 runs in the first, a run in the 2nd, a run in the 6th, and 2 in the 7th. 2-0. Line drive out to right field. This one will get down for a hit. Cam Morrison extends the ball game with an opposite field single with 2 outs. And he keeps the Copperheads' night alive as Dustin Baber steps to the dish. Baber's had a pretty good night, a sacrifice fly, along with another regular fly out, 2 singles. 3 runs batted in tonight for the 6-hitter and shortstop of the Copperheads. And you've got to say one thing, at least these 2 teams have played a lot of exciting baseball games this season. Fly ball down the right field line, giving chase his guy near the bullpen for Asheboro up on the hillside. He can't make the catch. Justin Guy almost made a catch on an incline to end the ball game, and he just couldn't hang on. That was some pretty wild stuff out there.
And unfortunately, that's just a play that, I mean, let's be honest, you've never really practiced growing up playing baseball is
climbing up a hill,
running uphill and catching a ball, unless you just have a very unusual sandlot that you played on growing up. It's awkward. He had to lay out to make that catch, but he has a lot of, or he lands a lot sooner than you would think.
Pop up. This could do it on the infield. Left side, Blaylock converges with Justin Gordon, and in foul ground, Justin Gordon makes the catch, and the night belongs to Forest City. Dustin Baber pops out to the catcher to end things in foul ground, and the Owls win this thing 10-6 here at McCrary Park tonight and improve to 10-8 on the 2019 season. They've won their 4th consecutive ball game, and we'll be back next to wrap things up on the Owls Baseball Network.
Question: how can such a small thing have such bold flavor? How can this little piece of cheddar have such big crunch? How is it possible for this entire bag of cheese crisps to have almost no carbs? F-Bomb Keto Crunch is 100% natural premium artisan cheese, sustainably produced with premium milk from local family farm cows, made from simple ingredients for your snacking pleasure. Ditch the chips and grab the crisps. F-Bomb Keto Crunch.
You know what's different about Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City? Well, we have no haggle clear choice pricing, we have the region's only non-commission based sales staff, and we use multiple sources for trade appraisals and give you the highest number. That and a no strings attached lifetime warranty is what makes us different. That's Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. You better believe we're different, and we're located in Forest City. Did you know Friendship Nissan in Forest City will beat any price on any new Nissan by $500? At Friendship Nissan, we do no haggle clear choice pricing, have the region's only non-commission based sales staff, and we do 2 appraisals on your trade and give you the highest number. Those 3 things and a no strings attached lifetime warranty make us different. Go online and check out our reviews, or go to friendshipnissan.com. That's friendshipnissan.com. We're different, and we're located in Forest City.
Back on the Owls Baseball Network, glad you could join us tonight on YouTube. After we could not broadcast on the Mixlr app tonight, but still, it doesn't matter because the Owls win this one tonight 10-6 in Asheboro and move to 3-1 on the season against the division rival Copperheads with this 10-6 winner tonight. So Forest City won the ball game this way, and we'll recap the scoring right now. Matthew Lumsden, a sacrifice fly in the top of the first, gave the Owls a 1-0 lead, scoring Jake Lyle. In the bottom of the first, Asheboro struck back with a run scoring on an error, and then Dustin Baber collecting an RBI on a sacrifice fly. It was 2-1 Asheboro after 1 inning. The Owls got a run back in the top of the second inning to make it 2-2 when Todd Elwood got an RBI to score Kirby Lambert on a single, and we were all square going to the bottom of the second. That is when Asheboro retook the lead on a Tyler Cranston RBI fielder's choice to score Brant Schafitzel, and that made it 3-2 Asheboro after 2 innings. In the top of the third inning, the Owls tied the game at 3 in what was a back-and-forth affair through the first 2.5 innings of this one. A sacrifice fly from Kirby Lambert scored Garrett Blaylock, and it was 3-3 after 3 innings. The next time we'd have runs would be in the top of the 6th inning. That's when the Owls came through with a 3-spot. Scoring were Paul Salata, Justin Guy, and Todd Elwood. 1 run scored on an error, and then Garrett Blaylock collected an RBI single in that frame as well. It was 6-3 Owls through 5.5. The Copperheads responded in the bottom of the 6th with an RBI single from Brant Schafitzel to score Dustin Baber. That made it 6-4. The Owls then surrendered the lead in the bottom of the 7th inning when a 2 RBI knock from Dustin Baber scored Tyler Cranston and Josh Hood. It was all tied 6-6 going to the 8th, but the Owls not giving up from there, putting up a 4-spot and an eventual winning frame for the Owls, scoring 4 runs on 4 hits in that 8th inning, including a 2-run double from Jake Rucker and an RBI single from Matthew Lumsden, add on an RBI single from Jake Lyle in that frame as well. And the Owls eventually won it 10-6. Before I run down the final pitching lines in this one and recap the final scoring, Blake, any final thoughts? A big win for the Owls tonight, 4 wins in a row, and this team is red hot heading into the off day tomorrow.
Well, this is exactly what you're wanting to see, trying to keep up with Gastonia, and of course, looking forward to the second half. Each game that these Owls can take over the Copperheads is going to be monumental, even if we go past the first half, looking to the second half. The Owls need 4 more wins over the Copperheads in their next 8 appearances to ensure that if any tiebreaker is to decide anything at the end in the first and second half combined standings, that they would have that extra game to go up on Asheboro in the case that they did tie. But some stellar defensive performances by Blaylock, by Rucker again. Multiple hits. Todd Elwood, Jake Lyle, Kirby Lambert came in to score twice. Blaylock with another 3-hit ball game. Really an all-around great effort for the Owls, who are now winners of 4 in a row.
A big win tonight for Forest City. They sweep the home-and-home against the Asheboro Copperheads over the last 2 games, and they'll enjoy a well-earned off day tomorrow before wrapping up the first half of the 2019 season over the course of the coming week. So, the Owls' pitching lines against the Copperheads looked like this. The Copperheads had the start from Joe Miller. He went 5+ tonight, allowing 4 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned. 6 strikeouts for him, 4 walks, and a couple of hit batsmen. Connor Patterson came out in relief, going 2 1/3 tonight. 4 hits allowed, 4 runs allowed, 2 earned. 4 strikeouts and 2 walks for Patterson. Cam Reed came in after that, going 2/3 of an inning to mop some things up, allowing 1 hit and 1 earned run with a strikeout and a walk. After that, Bryce Marsh pitched an effortless 9th inning to get the Copperheads to the bottom of the 9th. On the Forest City side, they used 3 pitchers. Caleb Pearson was the starter tonight for the Owls. He was able to keep them in the ball game despite some rough patches. 5 innings of work for him, 1 hit allowed, 3 runs, all were earned with 2 strikeouts. The thing that plagued Pearson, 7 walks, but he was still able to keep his head above water in the outing. Caleb Murphy came in later and eventually got the win despite allowing a couple of runs. 2 innings pitched by Murphy, 3 hits, 3 runs allowed, all earned, 2 strikeouts for him, 2 walks. Matt Harrison came in after that and mopped up the Asheboro Copperheads in the 8th and 9th innings. 2 innings of work for him, 1 hit allowed, 2 strikeouts. That was it for the righty sidearm thrower, Matt Harrison. The Forest City Owls in the ball game score 10 runs on 9 hits, 2 defensive errors, and they leave 10 on base. Asheboro scores 6 runs on 5 hits. The story of the ball game for the Copperheads was 6 defensive errors and 9 left on base. The time of the game tonight was 3 hours and 7 minutes here at McCrary Park in Asheboro. The Owls will be back here for another ball game coming up near the end of the first half on Friday night of next week. The Owls against the Copperheads tonight, and the Copperheads with the loss fall to 8-10 overall. 3-10 now are the Copperheads in their last 13 games. They'll be at Martinsville for a couple of ball games, a scheduled doubleheader coming up on Monday. That'll be a 6:15 start between the Copperheads and the Mustangs in Game 1 of that twin bill after an off day enjoyed by the Copperheads tomorrow. The Owls will also get an off day tomorrow. They move to 10-8 on the 2019 season. They've won 4 consecutive ball games. They'll be off tomorrow, and they'll play Savannah at home for the only meeting between the 2 clubs on Monday at 7:05. So be sure to tune into that one on the Stretch Internet streaming service, or heck, just come out to the ballpark and enjoy it for yourself at McNair Field. We'll have a good couple of home games for you to take in over the course of next week to wrap up the first half. For my broadcast partner, Blake McCandless, I'm Mitch Montani signing off. We want to thank you for joining us on YouTube tonight. A big win for the Owls tonight, 4 wins in a row. And again, repeating the final score here this evening, it was the Owls 10 and the Copperheads 6 on the Forest City Owls Baseball Network.